Episode 20 of the I Am Your Friend podcast. I am your host, Aiden Licker, and our guest today is our friend Emma. Hey, Emma.
Hi, Aiden.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
How's it going?
It's going good.
Good.
No complaints, I think.
Really?
Well, there's always complaints.
I feel like there's a vibe today. There's an energy in the air today. I feel like that is just like, I don't know. I saw people tweeting today, a lot of sadness going on, a lot of tension going on, I feel like right now. With like, I don't know, the whole like everybody's up in arms about the Afghanistan thing. And everybody's all up in arms about COVID and unvaccinated people and I don't know.
Well, I mean, I was just thinking about
there was ever really
the Afghanistan thing, I guess you can call it, leaving Afghanistan, but that's such a hard topic to talk about and like
really
put your opinion out there on, and that's why I haven't. I've seen a lot of people.
Same thing. I have not said anything about it because it's such a complicated issue.
I've seen so many people posting about it and sharing stuff, and there's just been so many spirals out of that.
Yeah,
the thing with women and children, just like that's a small example, but it's been really tense the last 48 hours.
Totally.
And
yeah, the only thing I'm really like, on board with is like taking in the refugees and stuff. So it's like, all right, yeah, cool. All right, that's one good thing. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. Everybody seems to be focused on like blaming either Biden or Trump.
One of the presidents.
Going back and forth. And I'm like, dog, we have been in Afghanistan.
The last 4.
Since 2001.
Yep.
Right? And before that, we were funding the Taliban since 1979. So it's like there's a whole slew of people to be pointing the finger at.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like
thousands.
It's just insane. I actually, when Biden first announced that they were pulling the troops out, like earlier, probably in the spring or winter, whatever, I was sitting there thinking about it, and I was like, I have no idea. Like, I don't know anything about the war in Afghanistan. Like, yeah. I know nothing. I know that 9/11 happened, and then I know we've been there for 20 years,
right.
And I don't know anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So what most people, I guess, would do in that situation would have an opinion before learning anything about it. So what I did instead was I went on YouTube, which I know is not
it can be credible.
It can be, but it's not always, right? So all I looked up was just like history of the Afghan war, like the U.S. Afghanistan war. And I found a YouTube series of this guy who like narrates and like animates stuff and basically like explained the entire conflict through a YouTube series. And I watched the entire thing.
And it was entertaining.
It was super entertaining. Yeah. It felt like it was like history class with like, what were those? Ted and Moby or whatever it was. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-mm.
There were these.
We were too poor for that.
No, come on.
Byron Burgess.
They were literally on, like, they were available to everybody. I think they were made by poor people, but they were.
Then I love it.
No, they were this like cartoon that was like a history cartoon.
Was that like the same guys that did like I'm Just a Bill on Capitol Hill?
No, that was Schoolhouse Rock, but it was a similar kind of thing, and it was about this like older gentleman who's like some sort of historian teaching like a student, and it was all animated and fun, and it made it interesting. It reminded me of that.
So teachers not teaching us, but just using animations to teach us. They know it works.
Worked. Yeah, it totally worked.
Yeah, you know what? Foreign policy and foreign politics were never my forte in my because I was poli-sci undergrad. And I always shied away from that kind of stuff because it is so complex and there's so many actors. That's why I was like, I'll just stick to U.S. politics. And
right. That's kind of, same thing here. It was like, right. And it was, it's easier to focus on the stuff that like directly affects you, so. Yeah.
And, in poli-sci, it's mostly dudes. So, and I'm not trying to like put people in the boxes, but like all the guys that were in like my class were really interested in like world wars and like world history and world politics, and like I was more like, that's not my thing.
That's weird.
People have their niche. Like international politics.
Yeah,
like they were more into like international politics, because like we had to pick like a concentration. So mine was American politics, and I just stuck to that. Tried to be good at it.
Yeah, that makes
Didn't
sense.
succeed in it, but that's okay.
That's all right.
Do any of us succeed in our undergrad?
No, that's why I have 2 bachelor degrees and work a 9-to-5 that doesn't require one.
What's your second one?
One is
business.
So it's a mouthful, but it's business administration. concentrating in music business.
Right.
Which now, after I graduated, now music business is its own degree. But it wasn't when I was there. It was just business administration concentrating in music business. And then my other one is communication concentrating in audio radio production.
Yes. We talked about communication.
Yeah.
Because that's my minor.
Right.
Because why not?
So your undergrad, you graduated with poli-sci?
Uh-huh.
Interesting. Yeah. I don't know. I'm surprised. I don't know. I didn't even consider poli-sci, but I was always like, I was really into like politics and everything, like from like probably like 16 is when I started to really get into it. When I really started to pay attention to like U.S. history and stuff like that. And then I had a really, really good government teacher my senior year of high school, who kind of just lit a fire under my ass to inspire
Become a
me.
Communist.
Essentially, yeah.
Well, no, you're a libertarian.
No, so yeah. For a little bit, I was a libertarian because I was an idiot. But
sorry for exposing you. You've probably said that before.
I might have, yeah. I don't know.
No, my political awakening was Barack Obama.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was in 8th grade, right? 2008. Yeah. And when he was elected, I don't know. I mean, there's something about him, right? Like he has charisma, and I just like kind of latched onto that. And I thought, not only was he like, he seemed like a really good guy, but I just like supported like what he stood for and his policies. And then I just stayed with politics all throughout high school. Got really into like every history class I could, AP Gov, AP History, and then went into politics. My parents never said like, you'll probably have to move to like Washington, D.C. to get a job. They never said that to me, which is like fine because I don't think they want to like stifle that like dream. But then I got to my senior year at Fredonia. I'm like, I don't want to move to Washington, D.C. and not get paid money.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the issue there, is that a lot of people that go into politics and can do that are like wealthier people. And then it's just like a funnel of like wealthy elitist people becoming politicians. And yeah, it's really bad. Yeah.
Yep.
Not always. Of course not. No, right. There's definitely examples where that's not always true.
Sure. But. Yeah. It's few and far between though.
Yeah.
But yeah. And I think that's what, more people are starting to realize. Some people, it's so funny how people who are like far right, like almost get it, You ever listen to
the
say
conservative
things it's like you're
phones.
so close.
Yeah, the cell phones.
Yeah. Or accidentally based or accidentally left wing, whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's like they get so close so many times. They're just like, yeah, it's the corporate elites, and it's like, yeah, and they're like on the left, and it's like, no, it's all of them. It's yours too, man. Like,
right. Take ownership.
Yeah.
At least, yeah. No, take ownership. But yeah, so I never got to like get to that level of like actually full time working for a politician. I was intern for Gillibrand,
right?
Which was
sick.
Tell me that. Yeah, that was really, really cool. And then I was an intern for the mayor of Fredonia.
Wow, that's super cool. Yeah. I think I did, but it
Which
just
was
popped
like
back into my brain.
Such a pure internship. Like I was like writing
the mayor of a college town.
Yeah. It was cool because he'd be like, "What do you think?" And I got to like sit in on like meetings with SUNY Fredonia, but like not as like a student advisor, but like as an intern for the mayor. So he would like turn to me and be like, "Emma, what do you think?"
Wow.
And I'd be like, "I should not be in this position right now."
That's so funny. Literally the intern.
Yeah, we like one of the big things I tried to help another student with was shutting down Canada Way for Fred Fest. Clearly, they did not allow that.
Yeah.
Because
it would make sense.
It makes so much sense. And that was our argument. And the mayor was for it. He was like all about it.
So who wasn't?
The village board. They make all the decisions. Mayors have literally no power. Like they are just a face of, okay. I need to backtrack about what I say. Mayors do have influence in who they hire to do the work. But a lot of it comes down to like councilmen, councilwomen, planning boards, things like that, like other elected officials that really like have the stronghold on, this also gets into like planning talk, the strongholds of like big decisions, right? Like future developments or, allowing them to shut down a street. Like the mayor can like veto and be like, no, we're going to do it. But like they never will because they want those people to be their friend and like pass policies that they want to happen. So
interesting.
Mayors definitely have power. It's just a different type of power than I think people really think that they have.
Yeah. Interesting.
Because I work with a lot of mayors in my current position. And like they like show up at a meeting, they give like 2 cents and they're like, all right, I got to dip and like go show my face somewhere else. Like it's not like the nitty gritty stuff.
Right.
And they probably just also don't have the capacity for that. Like they're 100 million places. And they also have to have a full-time job usually on top of being the mayor because communities don't usually pay their mayors enough to just live on that alone.
Okay. So does that translate as well to the mayor of a city like Buffalo?
No,
Right.
like a mayor of a city. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
they're
Very
getting
different. Okay.
that money. They're getting paid
Yeah.
to like do
and
that
they
job.
probably have more power.
They definitely have more power, and they also
Yeah.
have way larger of a cabinet. I say, but like people below them that are gonna implement their policy. So like they're not doing it technically on the ground, but their employees, so to say, are. And so when those employees are like put into the position by the mayor, like they're there because the mayor wants them to be there. So if like a new mayor came along, that person's spot's in jeopardy because the new mayor can just be like, nah, you're out. I want like someone new in that position, like a different direction type of thing. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot of changes in the city of Buffalo, which should be really, really interesting. And actually, I don't do a lot of work in the city of Buffalo. All my work's like across New York State.
Yeah.
So I'm like not that familiar, but I did know one of like the head planners in the planning department, and she just recently dipped. So she left. Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
It means that there's a vacancy right now, but you know, whatever happens with the election, that's going to be filled by someone regardless.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah. And I mean, like I said, like that, just that position alone doesn't have like the power to like change Buffalo.
Sure.
It comes from a lot of different things and more so community members than anyone. So
Thanks.
that's the biggest thing,
Huge.
I think. Yeah.
So, your title is urban development planner.
No. So
Is that even close?
well, I say, okay, so I went to UB for urban and regional planning is what
Okay,
my
I got
degree is
urban
in.
and planning.
Yeah.
So close.
But I don't like calling myself an urban planner because I also work in really, really small communities.
Sure.
Like I work in I was just on a call for the village of Gowanda, which is like super tiny, like way smaller than like Fredonia, for example.
I almost worked in Gowanda.
Doing what?
Working at a Verizon store.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Such a
I'm
weird.
so happy you didn't do that.
Me too. It was when I was in Fredonia.
That's still
And
kind
this-
of a far drive.
Yeah, this is all right. This story doesn't matter, but this guy who owns like they're like Verizon like authorized retail stores. There was one in Fredonia or in Dunkirk maybe, and he also owned one like my uncle owns a shop like in this plaza in like Derby,
Sure. Okay.
and this Verizon store like next to him was like looking for employees at his other shops.
Okay.
And so, like, my cousin reached out and was like, hey, do you want to work at the Verizon store Gowanda while you're at Fredonia? And I was like, no,
Okay,
I don't think so. Yeah.
I thought you were like seriously considering
Well,
it.
I asked the pay, and the pay was not.
It was probably minimum,
It
right?
was terrible,
like
yeah.
$10 an
I
hour.
made more working at Maria's. So,
I thought you worked at Lena's.
no, I worked at Maria's. My buddy Johnny worked at
Oh,
Lena's.
yeah. He worked
Yeah.
at Lena's. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, near Maria's. Yes. Yeah, because you hated I remember seeing you at Maria's and you hated your life.
Yeah, I was 18 years old and I was the manager.
You were running the show
Yeah.
with drunk people
Yeah,
everywhere.
because the owner was my oldest brother's best friend, and I was the only one he trusted with money. Just
Wow.
because he knew my older
Huge.
brother. So, like, and I was the youngest person that worked there.
Yeah, I know.
So it was so weird. That dude was nuts.
They're closed now, though, right?
Yeah, which makes
What
sense.
a loss. But like that's such a
It's because
loss.
I left, dog.
Yeah.
To be honest. I'm just kidding. No, I left like my junior year.
Yeah, they say
I couldn't do it
that.
anymore. Yeah,
Oh, that
it was
makes
nice because it was just like beer money, you know.
Yeah.
So I just worked there and then had beer money, and that. But then I started working on campus, doing the IT stuff.
Oh
so.
yeah, and I worked for FSA catering.
Look at us, employees
Grinding.
and students.
I was
Student
employee of the month like
employees.
4 times.
Employee of the month. We didn't have that shit.
Well, you should have worked catering. It was dope.
I had friends who worked catering. Actually.
Who?
I think we
a
talked
lie.
about it and you didn't know them. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, I just don't want to throw people's names out.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah, I get it.
if we're giving shout outs, we're giving shout outs, but it's a
Sure.
different.
Right. Still waiting to shout out something. I'll think of it.
We'll
Anyways,
get
my
there.
job title. Technically, I'm an urban planner, but I like to say that I'm just a community planner because when I say urban, people get a very specific idea in their mind
Sure.
of what I do. So, like, I've had people one time be like, so you develop new cities. And I'm like, when was the last time you heard of a new city?
How sick would that be?
That'd be so, it's
Yeah.
like Sims.
Hey
like,
guys,
yeah.
there's this new city.
I mean, I wish.
Yeah.
That'd be a nice start, and then everyone would want to live there. But yeah, so I just say community planner because I work in places like Gowanda. I work in like Williamsville, Amherst, Canton, New York, like the North Country of New York, Amsterdam, New York. So
Wow.
everywhere. which is fun
Yeah.
and cool because then, you know, people for good reason, you know, have things to say about Buffalo or their neighborhood. And they're like, this is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. And I'm like, valid, fair. You're allowed to feel that. But like, have you been anywhere else in New York State? Because everywhere else isn't doing so well, like compared to Buffalo. Right. So it's like, I feel like a lot of people are comparing the wrong scales.
Like comparing Buffalo to New York City.
Yeah. Or even like Austin or like San Diego.
Yeah.
Like you gotta scale it down.
Yeah.
You gotta scale it down. And I think that's great. I think people looking at their community, wanting to improve it always and finding, you know, things that can be improved is what makes a community keep going. Because if no one cared, then it would be a total shithole.
Yeah.
Which
Buffalo was for a while.
Right. And an article the other day said something about our population rise being thanks to like Pagula sports. And I'm like, give me a break. No. Because that's like not it at all.
Yeah.
It's like,
so because I live with my parents, they still get the physical newspaper.
Love it.
I actually do enjoy it. Like if I move out, I probably will subscribe to a paper copy of the Buffalo News.
Yeah.
But right on the front cover, it was literally said it was because of like our immigration and refugee programs and stuff.
100%.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that Pagula sports article, like saying they
Probably
were the reason.
WYRK or
something like that. But I'm just like, dig a little deeper, like look a little more into like the data, like just because Canal Side and Harbor Center, and these are all great things. They're what makes Buffalo nice now, right? But it's not just that. So
Canal Side shows are never happening again. Are you aware of this?
Mm-mm.
Because where the stage was, they
the
permanently placed the carousel. Yeah, and they have no other place to put a stage. Like that was the only spot they could have put it, according to my friends that work in the like music production industry locally.
Yeah, and I don't know who planned that.
What the fuck, dude? Really?
Yeah,
like
that's a big
the
mistake.
one cool thing we had.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a huge mistake.
Although I will say, like the early years of Canal Side concerts, which was what, like 6 years ago maybe is when they started.
Like 2010? I feel like they didn't start that early. Maybe.
Well, they were Thursday in the Square for a while, and they were in Niagara Square, and then they moved to Canal Side. But I feel like it was like,
you know better than me. I'm not from Buffalo. So.
Yeah, but I also could be completely wrong, which I usually am.
Where's the fact checker?
But I want to say like they first started happening like when I was in college.
Okay, so that was like 2013, 14, 15.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I could be wrong. But either way, during those times, whenever it first started happening, they were awesome. They were free, and it was just like so cool because it was this new thing, and it felt like Thursday at the Square, but in a new, more accessible venue. And then they changed it because it really did start getting overwhelmingly like the crowds became like teenagers.
Too populated.
It was like a bunch of high schoolers that would just hang out and vape and fight and
all my favorite things.
Yeah, it was scary. And then so they changed it to be 21 plus only, I believe. And then we're doing like the $5 or $10 tickets. But it was bad. Like, but if you got that, you also like your ticket got you like 2 free beers or something like that. No, wait. I was mixing up because they did the regular. So they did that first. And then the year after that, they upped it again. Well, they didn't up it. They were like, now there's a VIP section and it's like, it's like $30. It includes 2 free beers and it gets you access to the front of the stage, which is sick because like for a concert, $30
cheap.
Being admission, two beers and access to the front of the stage is like
that's
a no-brainer.
Not a thing anymore.
Right. So that was last year, 2019. Well, I know that wasn't last year, but the last year that they did it. So that was cool, but it also felt like it's not as cool as it was when it was free and it was just open. You know what I mean? Now it's like if you pay a certain amount, you get better things. And it was like what was cool about the original ones, it was just like a free-for-all.
Everyone's welcome.
Yeah.
Anyone can come.
Right.
Yeah. So it kind of changed the dynamic.
They just kept, yes. And while I did in like 2019, I went to the Incubus concert there and it was sick. Incubus is one of my favorite bands. And you know, got my 2 free beers and I was right up on the front of the stage. I was like, this is awesome. But it also felt weird because it's like they block off that section so nobody else can get to it besides VIP. So you feel kind of like, I don't know. Some people like feeling like that. I don't. I'm like, at
a show.
Right.
No, not necessary.
Not for me.
Yeah, that's
Anyway.
interesting. And Canal Side's run by New York State. Technically, it's or Erie Canal Development Corporation, some acronym.
Jesus.
It's an agency. It's run by an agency, right?
Okay.
So it's not like some like nonprofit that's doing the work behind that. I'm sure they work with nonprofits and things like that, but it's an agency. And you know what? That was just probably not a thought in their mind. And I think the direction Canal Side's going and how it started too, is they wanted families down there. They're pushing family atmosphere, family place.
Which I can get on board with.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Buffalo, that drives the economy, right? Like
Sure.
if you don't have
If
that,
movies are moving into, or if families are moving into the city.
that's what they
That's
want.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they just want families to spend a weekend or a day. Like they just want to keep them down there. So I
Right.
get that. But yeah, that's not having an area
Yeah.
for stage blows.
Well, I know there's also plans for they have been doing shit, but for completely revamping LaSalle.
Yeah, that's going on right now.
Oh, it is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
they're redoing the hills and shit.
Yeah, I actually know some of the firms that are working on that.
Oh, cool.
I think the lead firm, though, is out of New York City, probably because for some reason, Buffalo planning projects always have out-of-town lead.
Those bastards.
I know. It pisses me off to no end. It really does. It really does. Because it's like, who knows how to connect with the people in the community better
Than the people
than
who
like
live
the
there.
planners in the community. But then I'm like, wait, I'm going to other cities and planning.
Sure.
So
sure.
I guess I
Yeah.
can't really say that
Yeah.
much about it. But yeah, that's definitely in the works. And that's going to be, years.
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
It's not a quick fix.
I remember reading about it in Buffalo Rising,
Yeah.
which is. Do you read Buffalo Rising? That's my
Well,
go-to.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like an avid
If I
reader of
see
it,
like
but
an article about a new development, yeah.
I usually
it's pretty
sometimes
legit
if
from there.
I have downtime at work, I'll
Yeah.
just pull up Buffalo Rising and
And
just go
it's
through
accessible.
the development section and see what's going on. And usually it's it makes me really upset because it's just like, oh, another Ellicott development 7-story apartment building is going up at this corner right across from the other one that they just built, and it's just like,
Okay, but that's not bad.
I know,
It's not
but
bad. That's not bad.
They just look not cool.
And I think we talked about this before.
did,
And
yeah.
I will defend this.
All right, go ahead.
Housing is so hard to do because usually developers lose money on it. There's a lot of restrictions for good reason. And materials are expensive. So they're going to look a certain way. I know it sucks. Did you see
Yeah.
the new one that's done near me on Bryant and Elmwood?
Is that near Bean Bastard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's across the street.
Yeah.
That one looks good.
Yeah.
Do you think that one looks good?
I mean, it's just huge. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like I like seeing nature.
Yeah, but you're in
and
the
stuff.
city.
I know. You're right.
Come
You're right.
on.
You're right. That's a very good argument. No, I feel stupid.
No. Don't feel stupid. I just think, there is
You're
a
in a
lot
city,
of new
it should be
apartments.
tall buildings
But
and
if
shit,
we
yeah.
want more people moving into the city,
You're right. Yeah.
and it's so hard to get an apartment in the city.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was so lucky with my new one that my friend's dad owned the house. But
Oh,
like my
sick.
last apartment,
Yeah.
I had to fight to the death for that thing.
So right, and that's basically where I'm at right now. Is
Yeah.
I'm obviously extremely lucky to live with my parents, who I'm good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at. I'm taken care of, which is I'm very lucky. So I have no rush to move out right now, and I couldn't really super comfortably afford to anyway. But that's kind of what I'm waiting for, is just like an opportunity. You know what I mean? Because I know I'm not gonna. If it comes to a time where it's like, oh, I'd like to move out, and then I have to settle for something because.
Yeah.
So I'd rather wait.
And a lot of people do that. A lot of
Right,
people are
exactly.
like,
Well, a lot of people don't have a choice, which is why I'm saying I'm extremely lucky in my
Right.
situation. But
right.
that's my plan, is just to hopefully find something that's just like a good deal, nice place that I can comfortably afford in a decent area, and I'll take it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I shouldn't say like it's really hard to get an apartment. I'm sure some people might object to that, but to get a quality apartment with a quality landlord in an area that you feel safe, like there's a lot of boxes to check. And I think that's why there's so many new apartments going up right on Elmwood or right off Elmwood, because
Yeah.
they know people will want to live there and feel safe there. And, either more than one bedroom. So if you have like kids, you can live there. Like it can be a family. So I think that's a thought behind that. But
Don't you think there's also a thought behind it that they could charge up the ass for rent in that neighborhood?
oh, for sure. For
Yeah.
some of those.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, the city of Buffalo, I would hope so, usually does a regulation on how many market rate you can have, affordable Some have to be low income. Like the one downtown with a grocery store, Bray Millers, a majority of those are going to be low income apartments.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. So I
to
think
see
that was like a low income housing development project.
Awesome.
So like that right there is an example, but the hoops, and I'm not saying developers should have it easy, but there are a lot of hoops you have to jump through to make certain things happen. So like the easy thing to do is just be like, oh, let's charge $3,000 for this one bedroom apartment every month. But I think we're seeing more of, the city of Buffalo not allowing that, and hopefully that doesn't continue. But there's also people in the city of Buffalo that can afford that.
Yeah.
There's people that make money in Buffalo.
Right.
With all the industries. Yeah. So like if they can afford to live that and those apartments are ready to be moved into, let them come into the neighborhood and spend some money while not kicking other people out of the neighborhood.
You're 100% correct.
It's a balance.
This is why these are things that I don't speak on, and I just text you instead. Because I'm like, I think I have an opinion on this,
no,
but I don't really.
Opinions are good.
Yeah, I know, but you actually know how these things work.
So far, I mean, I still say I'm like such a novice. Like I've only been planning, which feels crazy. It feels like I've been doing it much longer, but for only full time 3 years, and I didn't even know what urban planning was.
I feel like that's a decent amount of time. Like I guess probably depending on how you look at it, but I feel like 3 years is a decent experience to really fully grasp, your job at least, and how things are working around you.
There's just so many things to planning. It's not just development. It's also road networks and, sidewalks and small businesses and natural resources and contaminated properties. Like there's just so much you have to think about.
Yeah.
Which is why I really like it, because I don't get bored, because I'm like, oh, now I have to think about that.
Yeah. I think this shit is so interesting.
It is.
And I'm sure there's people who probably are like, who are listening to this is like, this is the most fucking boring shit I've ever heard.
They probably are. Please don't turn it off. I swear I'm cool.
Yeah. No, I could listen to this shit for hours, because I am so interested in I don't know. I'm always just obsessed with the idea of community, like when it comes down to it, and just like everybody kind of, doing their part to have a thriving, interactive community, I suppose. So I think that's just super fucking interesting. And and the one thing I always talk about with you is how much of an advocate I am for good public transportation.
Buffalo.
Yeah. Which Buffalo just doesn't have.
If we had, this is my theory, and obviously it's not right. It's just like an idea I had, but and what I got into a fight on Twitter about. If the stadium was downtown, if the city of Buffalo decided to play ball, no pun intended.
Nice.
I think it would have driven the demand to NFTA,
the
transportation agency in the Western New York, to create the infrastructure that's needed to make that stadium possible, like getting people down there, ridership, usership, like, because then they would be profiting, right? So it's like almost like dangling a carrot in front of them, being like, yo, if we put this stadium downtown, think about how many people are going to be using your metro if we put it downtown. Like all the people from the burbs, like if you got
that's how these cities. So when obviously comparing Buffalo to other cities, like if you're comparing it to Austin or San Diego, whatever, I think better suited cities to be looking at are Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Yeah. And those cities, I fucking love downtown Pittsburgh. It is phenomenal. They have all the stadiums and arenas right fucking next to each other. And you can just park anywhere and take a train, whatever. And it's so sick. And I'm the same thing as you. And I think we might be in the minority of advocating for a city or a stadium, a football stadium downtown.
Really? Have you talked to other people and they say that it shouldn't be?
Correct.
Well, with the current infrastructure, 100%.
Right. Well, so here's my thing. My argument is the same as yours. It's just like, it makes us, boost the city. People will move into the city, increases public transportation, because not only when you increase public transportation does it give you, more access to get down to a stadium or whatever, it also gives more people access to get to work,
it's not just about the stadium.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. There's tons of benefits for that. And when it's just all good things for the city of Buffalo, for the greater good. And Bills fans don't give a shit about that. Like Bills fans give a shit about tailgating, and that's it. So it's like, And when I try to have these conversations with Bills fans, they're like, but where are we going to tailgate?
I know.
You know, because my whole thing is like, oh, if we have a bunch of railways that take you there, you can park at a bunch of different places and then you don't have to worry, because everybody's argument is the traffic, right? Well, you can get to the different areas of the city and then take the train to the stadium. But where do we tailgate? And I'm like,
there's like 32 acres of vacant parking lots in the city of Buffalo on the weekends.
So how do you get to and from them?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I tailgated.
Because I'm also a huge advocate of get rid of all the highways.
I know, which I was like, no, Aiden.
I hate highways, dog.
Yeah. Everyone does.
They're convenient for me,
sure.
Obviously from living in the suburbs, but it's like, I was
going to say, how do you get to work?
Yeah, but I can get to work without a highway. But that's just my direct commute to work. I literally have two different options, and the difference is about 5 minutes.
Sure.
But highways going into the city, because they're like how they were, you know, the whole history of them being placed and how it's segregated the city. And we have one of the most segregated cities in the country.
Sure do.
And the east side of Buffalo is one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in the country.
Because of the 33, yep.
Right, exactly. And like that, and it's because of the segregation, which is because of the 33. And you know what I mean? It's like, so for that reason alone, I'm like, get rid of.
Reconnect it. You're saying. Yeah. Which there was like a proposal out there for like a little while of changing everything.
But the people go, well, what about my drive to work?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, well, you could find another way to get to work. This is about the greater good of the city, which again, a lot of
I think there's a balance to that.
Just don't give a shit.
I think there's a balance to that. I think you can do some of those things that were proposed and not all of them, because realistically,
I'm very dramatic. You know this about me.
Yeah.
We're Pisces. This is what we do.
I am not a quintessential Pisces though. For sure not. No. I think my son, is it your sun that's your true sign, or your sun that's like your
sun is your true sign, your rising?
My rising is an Aries.
Okay. I don't know much about Aries.
Yeah. Apparently they're like direct and feisty and things like that.
My rising is a Scorpio.
Oh.
Which means I appear much more confident and outgoing than I actually am. So
pretty spot on.
Yeah. And then
highways.
Just to keep going into astrology for a little bit, your moon sign. So those are like the big three, if you will.
Yeah.
The moon sign is how you handle your emotions.
Yes.
So I'm a Virgo moon, which Virgo and Pisces are polar opposites on the chart, which means I handle my emotions the opposite of how like I actually am perceiving them, which is like not good.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of conflict.
I'm an extremely emotional person. Yeah. So it's like, you know, finding a balance.
I would say I'm emotional, but not in like the sad, like, woe is me emotional.
Okay.
More so like emotional, like I show my emotions. Like if I'm annoyed, I'm going to be annoyed. If I'm mad, I'm going to be mad.
Yeah.
You know, if like I'm going to be loud and...
Do you know what your moon sign is?
I should know this. I actually went to a psychic.
Oh, interesting.
This is a good story.
Go on.
Forget planning. I went to a psychic.
We'll get back to it.
And right after I was graduating from UV. And I was like, you know what? I want to know what's next on my path. Like, I'm like very intrigued by like what's next for me. I already had a job lined up at CNS where I currently am. So I was like, I just want to see like what's going to happen. So I went to her and she told me nothing she said was correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Where'd you go?
Not. Some woman in like Amherst. I don't remember her name.
There's a woman in West Seneca.
Is she
dope? I can recommend for you. Yeah. That my mom saw.
I would be down to see.
I'll tell my story after, but go ahead.
Okay. And she was just like, not right. Like she said I was going to move to the West Coast, meet someone out there, marry them, move back here, and like all within like 4 years. And that didn't happen. I haven't moved in 5 years from the city. Yeah. Today's my 5-year anniversary living here, by the way. Crazy.
Wow.
I know. So she was just completely wrong. But at the end, I was like her last appointment. She's like, when's your birthday? I was like, March 15th. She's like, oh, it's a March, Pisces. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, I'm going to read your chart. And she like read my entire chart, like went through it in depth. So you think I would know what I am?
But when she read your chart, did you feel it was accurate to you?
Yeah. I do think my chart's accurate. Yeah.
I had my chart read to me and that was like, I've always been into astrology, but never like, I just kind of like humored it. You know,
I believe in it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Now I totally do as well. And anybody who listening is like, what the fuck? Like, fucking chill out and just understand. Like, because I have a lot of friends. Like, I have friends that I know if I bring it up, like they're just gonna
like roll their eyes.
Yeah. Which is
fine.
fair.
Yeah.
Which is totally fair because of the way that it's like totally, the
Especially
way it's
now.
presented. Yeah. The way it has
God.
always been presented is like insane. But when you really start to learn about it, like it is extremely interesting. And it is all based on real shit.
Yeah,
like it's
there's-
all
you can
based
get an
on how
astrology
things happen
degree.
in the sign, in
Yeah.
like in the stars, like in how the planets rotate and move, and I don't know. I mean, as a person who's just kind of maybe experimented with psychedelics a bit, I tend to believe that the universe has an energy about it that moves and alters, and maybe that's part of it. Anyway, had my whole chart read to me one time and went through the entire thing, and it was nuts. It was like life changing. I'll never forget it. Like of just how spot on it was.
Yeah.
And affirming it was, of just being like, my whole thing of like growing up was that I always was told I was too emotional and too sensitive and all these things. And then when I get my chart read to me, it's like, oh yeah, your superpower is that you're extremely sensitive. You're and it's like, it completely flipped the script of being like, all these external sources told you all these things about you and you believed it, but what you should have been, you should have been listening to your inner, spirit or whatever. That's like, this is how you're supposed to be. And it's actually a benefit. Like it's a plus.
Embrace
it's not
it. Yeah. I think
so
astrology
I think that's just
does
super
that.
interesting.
I think people like embrace once they learn about their signs and like the positives or even the negatives. They're like, yeah, that's me. Like that's who I am.
And the thing is, if it's not real, it made me stop hating myself. So
I think it's a plus.
I'm just, leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah. Today, in today's world, especially with TikTok, which we can talk about TikTok too.
Fuck yeah.
Holy shit.
I knew asking you to
there?
come on that this is going to be like a 3-hour episode probably. Because every time we hang out, this is how it works. It's
I know.
just like, and
I
all
was
of a
like,
sudden
Aiden,
it's
are
like,
you
yo, it's
sure
1
we
in the
should do
morning.
this at 7:00 at night?
Yeah, no, we're going to be fine.
No, TikTok with astrology is like, number one, the Pisces manslander is
Dude, it's fucked up, but I get it. Because
my brother's a Pisces, so like it's funny.
The Pisces man slander across social media is insane, and I see it all the time. And it is like,
it's almost like a joke now, though.
Right? Yeah. It's a meme that like Pisces men are the worst, but it's not wrong. And the thing is, like, just because of like how I have been in my past, you know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, a few years ago, they would have been extremely correct.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think, but I also have become very self-aware and gone to therapy and like worked on a lot of my issues that like, I'm not like that anymore. But like at one point I was definitely that like fell right into that meme for sure.
Yeah. My brother's a Pisces man. And actually it's really funny. I made a TikTok when we were on vacation because my mom's a Cancer. My sister's a Cancer. My sister-in-law is a Pisces. My brother's a Pisces.
Holy
and I'm a
shit.
Pisces.
You guys just got water signs.
All water
around.
signs on a vacation together. I'm like, who wants to cry first, baby? Let's go. Maine.
Yeah. Oh, my God. A bunch of water signs go to Maine. That's a
On the
fucking
lake.
poem.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sick. You
Maine's
love
the
Maine.
best. I love Maine. Yeah. My family is from Maine. My grandparents grew up there. High school sweethearts. Had a house up there.
So adorable.
Dude, the best. And then, I have a house up there. And then my grandma's family actually owned it, but then it was passed down to her and my grandpa, and now it's passed down to my mom and her 2 brothers, and then I don't know how it's gonna be passed down to all the cousins. I think maybe it'll just stay in families.
Sure.
Hopefully, maybe we'll see. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. It's a little early for that, but
that's cool though. So you go up there. How often do you go up there?
Well, usually it's just one time a summer.
Okay.
For like a week.
Yeah.
But last summer was dope. Well, not because of COVID, but because I had so much vacation to use. I got to go up there in June for a week, and I worked like 15 hours, like whatever, like a little bit part-time answering emails. And then I got to go up for another week at the end of the summer. And then this year I got to go up for like 10 days, which was probably like my longest vacation since I started working full-time.
That's awesome. I never go on vacation, so I'm glad you do.
You really need to.
Yeah, I know.
That's like the most important thing.
I literally only take time off to go to the studio or go like on tour or something like that.
Well, yeah. So you're going on tour.
Hopefully.
Right.
Yeah.
But you'll be using all of your.
Yeah. So I have like 90 hours of PTO saved up right now.
How many do you get a year?
This is like.
How many weeks? Put in weeks for me.
I have no idea.
Like I get 3 weeks. I get 120 hours a year.
I think I get less than that, but
Boo.
it's over. Like I didn't take any time off last year, like at all.
At all.
Yeah, only when I was in the studio, and I only had to take a few days. So a lot of this is overlapped from last year.
Okay.
And really, other than that, I'll take like half days to go to my tattoo appointments because I have to drive to Allertonville, and I also booked them out a year in advance. And I literally am just like,
which is so crazy to me because I text my tattoo artist and I'm like, can you squeeze me in tomorrow?
oh my God, yeah, that's nuts.
And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, my dude literally is booked out to 2023 right now. My next tattoo appointment is September 2022.
That's insane.
Yeah. So, but like when I go there, I just book a bunch of appointments.
Yeah.
Basically as many as he'll let me. And then I'm just like, just whenever. Like,
right.
And then I'll figure it out. You know what I mean? So like if it's, a weekday in the middle of the day,
just
I'll
take
take
a half
off
day.
of work. Like I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
you don't go on vacation.
Yeah, what I'm gonna do is just like my boss, shout out my boss, is the coolest fucking dude. And he's like an old school punk guy.
Yeah.
So he's letting me work from the road, which is awesome.
So sick.
So I basically have to figure out, I'll figure it out as we get closer to it.
When is that again?
We leave November 11th and come back December 18th. So I basically just have to figure out like which days I'm going to take
for
off.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I'm going to be in LA.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's a weird place to be for Thanksgiving. I feel like it's not Thanksgiving vibes, I'd
it
prefer
makes me
to be
think
like
of New Girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I know about Thanksgiving in LA is New Girl. Because the Thanksgiving episode of New Girl is phenomenal. But when we're in LA, we're staying with the one singer of Super American's girlfriend's family.
Oh, cool. So you'll have like a good Thanksgiving.
And his girlfriend and her, like and her family are like flying to LA for the show.
Oh, cool.
And then, so we're all going to be together for
wow, that's a good girlfriend.
Yeah. And I'm pretty close with his girlfriend as well.
Yeah.
I like hang out with her and her family at their lake house and stuff. Like it's a good time. But so I'm excited. It'll be cool. Obviously it'll be a very different experience for Thanksgiving, but to be in LA in the sunshine. So
yeah, that'll be
all
sick. It'll be
yeah.
like 80 degrees and sunny. It's never cloudy there.
For sure. Yeah. So I don't know. The whole thing with COVID blowing up right now. So I mean, it's in November, so it's like who the fuck knows what's gonna happen
things
in the next
could
few
change
months. Yeah.
rapidly.
So we're supposed to be going to Vancouver, which I would obviously love to. Vancouver is like one of the most like sought after cities for me. So I would really like to be able to go there. I just paid to get my passport to be able to go there. So
what was it like? How much did you pay?
Like
50? Yeah.
Maybe
because I paid to get my passport in March of 2020 to go to England and Ireland. And
wow.
And then like 3 weeks later, I was like, that's
what's crazy? So I go to get my passport, right? And it's insane how much shit you need. Like,
you go to the downtown place?
Prepared. No, I just went to the post office.
Oh.
I filled out the application online and then printed it out.
Yeah, you need so much shit.
You need so much. And you need photocopies of all the shit.
Yep.
And then I went to just like a Walgreens to get the pictures done, and then just brought it all to the post office. And the woman working was like, all right, so she's like, it's like 18 weeks for a passport right now. She's like, if you expedite it, you can get it in 12. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that. It was like $50 to expedite it, whatever. I needed it before 18 weeks. So I did that. And then it showed up in 2 weeks. Yeah,
so did mine. And I was like, it's already here.
That's what I'm saying. I got it like a few days ago, and I just was like,
how's your pic?
Terrible.
Mine's
it's super
so
dark.
Bad and ugly. I look so bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's a passport, whatever, but
I'm vain.
Yeah, it's not like you're gonna post it on Instagram,
No, that would be weird.
Yeah,
and
probably
not secure.
Dangerous.
Not smart on my end.
Totally.
That's something I would do though. Just not thinking about it.
No. Anyway.
Well, wait, I have more questions.
Go ahead.
I'm interviewing you.
You run it. You run the show. Yeah.
So are you playing or are you tour managing?
No, I'm tour managing.
Oh, I've been telling people you're playing.
I was originally going to be playing. Okay. There was a whole thing. Literally nothing bad happened. Right. Just like things changed. And so the original plan was I was going to be tour managing, and then it was like I was going to be playing guitar, and then it was like, all right, I'm actually just going to tour manage for right now. It's just because they're the opening band on the tour.
Right.
They don't have a lot of wiggle room for things. So it was just going to be easier for everybody if we did it this way. So,
and you like tour managing.
I love it. I'm so excited. Well, I'm a very organized person.
I know.
And I'm like a dad, you know, so I like being the van dad, you know, so I just
take that role.
I'm basically babysitting, you know, and I'm like, have to like, all these guys are going to be, you know, drinking, and I just got to make sure I got to just keep them all.
Get on the bus.
Yeah. I'm just like herding the sheep.
You're like a camp counselor.
Yeah.
Were you ever a camp counselor?
No,
I was a camp
I've
counselor.
never gone to camp. My parents loved me. Yeah.
Wait, you never went to camp? Like any type of camp?
You didn't even get insulted by that joke?
Yeah, you said my parents love me. Yeah. Mine did not.
No, I never went to camp.
All right, I just want to say Freebird slaps.
By Super American?
Oh my god, I love that.
Yeah,
and the original.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know if you were talking about a camp or something. I'm like, is there a camp Freebird?
I just wanted to go back to that really quick.
Yeah.
You're
no, it does. Yeah. Shout out Freebird by Super American.
Yeah, it's dope. Yeah.
They're so funny that they did that and called it Freebird.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's such a good song. It's so short too. It's like over in a snap.
Yeah, they write pop songs.
That's fine.
They're very good.
That's why I like them.
Yeah.
Camp. Yeah. I went to so many camps. I went to Jesus camp, which was really interesting after my parents got divorced.
I'm sorry to laugh at that. That's such a funny statement.
My mom found God again after my parents got divorced, which is like fine, whatever gets you through it. I mean,
gotta do whatever it takes to get you through the day. Do what you gotta do,
Diane. Single mom out here, just like whatever. So she sent us to a Jesus camp in the Adirondacks, which I'm like, why did you drive us 5 hours each way to go to a camp? Like we could have gone to one.
She was going through a lot.
Yeah, she was like, get out for a week and a half.
She's like, I don't know, just fucking go. This is the only one that would take you.
So I went to horse camp.
That's a real thing? Were you a horse girl?
Oh my God, so many people are. Yeah, I was a horse girl.
Wow.
Twice.
You went to horse camp twice?
Yeah, I did. And then I did the outdoor adventure camp, which I don't know why I did that because
That sounds fun. That sounds like the most fun out of all of them.
Yeah, I thought so. I wasn't into
Jesus camp was more fun?
No, that was part. So, sorry. So Jesus camp had like all these different camps you did in it.
Oh, so and, like, horse camp was part of Jesus camp. Outdoor adventure was part of Jesus camp.
And then my brother went to like golf camp.
Was outdoor adventures just like a reenactment of Stations of the Cross?
What is that?
You learned nothing from Jesus camp. You don't know what Stations of the Cross is?
I didn't learn anything in church. I would just like draw on like the pamphlet.
Stations of the Cross is the thing they do around Easter time, and they do
You're
it.
Catholic.
What are you?
Methodist.
You don't have Easter?
We don't have Stations of the Cross.
Do you have Good Friday?
No.
What?
That's a Catholic thing, dude. No Lent, no anything. Go to religion school.
Dude, what?
Nothing like that.
I didn't
Methodists
know that was
don't mess with that.
Damn, Methodist sounds dope.
It is. It's really cool.
Well, let me explain to you what Stations of the Cross is. So it's basically like a play that the Catholic Church puts on around Easter time, usually the week leading up to Good Friday.
I would love to be in a play.
My cousin Zach, shout out my cousin Zach, first shout out of the episode. He was Jesus when he was in 8th grade at his Catholic school, and I went and watched it because he was performing in it. And it's literally in the church, and it's like students put it on, and it's a whole thing. And it's like these different stations stations are essentially the chapters of Jesus getting crucified.
Sounds
and a bunch of 8th graders.
Sad.
It's extremely sad. And you just
for
like,
Jesus.
Yeah. So you just, like the
cousin
movie.
Zach was.
Yeah. Cousin Zach was up on there. My cousin Zach has been jacked and with an 8-pack since he was like 4 years old. So it was like, it just made sense for the white people who love jacked Jesus, So he was Jesus, and I just watched him, and he fell. He had to fall with the cross because Jesus fell with the cross, get whipped and stuff like that. They didn't actually whip him,
right? I saw Jesus Christ Superstar.
It's right. So know dude. First of all,
great
Jesus
musical.
Christ, great musical. I assume the movie. Have you seen the movie?
Yeah, of course.
From the 70s, phenomenal.
Yeah, the music is top.
I was like
notch.
obsessed with that musical when I was a kid.
Yeah,
like I really, really liked it. Actually, for Easter one year, my parents got me.
Jesus Christ
like
Superstar.
In my Easter basket
the
was
CD.
Jesus. No, the VHS. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you still have it?
Somewhere, yeah. Probably.
Incredible.
I used to watch it all the time. I still don't. They a few Easters ago they did the NBC like live performance or whatever.
Things.
Yeah. But
For
the songs are great.
Yeah, but the music's good.
Yeah.
I forget who was
John Legend, I think.
Oh.
if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
He was in it at least.
Yes.
I don't know if he was Jesus. I think he was Jesus.
I don't remember.
Yeah. I'm sure half of America was like, Black Jesus.
Yeah, they were pumped.
Yeah. They were definitely pumped.
They were so excited about that.
Shit, dude. Oh, that's good.
I do love John Legend, though.
Yes.
He's married to Chrissy Teigen, though.
She is something else. I didn't really know who she was.
Wow. That's impossible. She's like
right?
everywhere.
There are so many people like that. Like someone will say something. Okay. I am so removed from a lot of things in like mainstream A-list things.
Right.
And I
You
think
don't
it's
like
because
a lot of celebrities.
well, I don't like know a lot of celebrities or like.
Right. That's what
like,
I mean. Like,
I didn't
you don't
know.
follow that.
I didn't know who like the Kardashians really even were until like a few years ago. And that's literally just because like I didn't know that the show existed. I didn't know, you know what I mean? Like, because I don't watch cable TV. I never did.
Yeah, you're poor.
No, I've moved beyond poor. I got to streaming. You're poor. Shut up.
Was.
Same. We were. No, I don't know. I just was like, when I was in like middle school, high school, I got very into like indie type stuff.
Yeah, you
like,
just didn't pay attention to it.
Right.
And you have no girls in your family.
Correct.
That's the biggest
That's
thing.
probably what it is. Yeah. So reality TV in my house was not a thing.
No.
We watch like my older brothers watched like The Real World and shit, and I watched
Loved
like I didn't
those.
watch Jersey Shore until college when they put it on Hulu.
Right.
And I loved it. I watched like a few episodes in high school, but that was, and it was just because everybody was talking about it or whatever.
Of course.
But yeah, like that was just not a thing we just didn't do it. Like
Okay.
we watched like, we would watch Jackass and
Right.
like Viva La Bam and
Of course.
Robin Big and that kind of stuff. That was the only reality television we would
Rit
watch.
big.
Can we talk about
R.I.P.
for a second while on the topic of that?
I know where this is going.
Ridiculousness?
Yeah, that's
just
always
running
on
MTV.
They're like, what? Who does
I
Rob
see-
Dyrdek have blackmail on
I
MTV?
see tweets about it and stuff, and then I just like will randomly because my parents have cable, so like
Yeah.
I'd never watch it, but like I will go through just the channels if I'm chilling sometimes, and every single time I go by MTV, Ridiculousness is on, and I'm like, this is actually like I thought it was just a funny meme, like it's real, like. And how about it was their 40th anniversary or something, and they just played 24 Hours of Ridiculousness.
Yes, like all the good things that MTV has done. You
You could have
music.
done 24 hours of music
videos.
It would have been so sick.
Or
and I
2
feel like the young generation like would have loved it.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
So sick.
Because the younger generation probably doesn't even watch cable.
Bachelorette. I don't know if Gen Z watches that really though. That's such a millennial thing.
Yeah, it really is.
Painful. That's like one of my painful. You know how like we all have like. Well, you're not really a millennial.
I'm still a millennial.
You are, yeah. You call yourself a
Zillennial or a zillionaire.
But I'm like a true millennial, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm in there.
Yeah.
94.
I mean,
Let's go.
you're right on the end.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I am.
But we're
one.
both younger millennials.
Yes.
Yes.
And like I don't relate to like a lot of millennial stuff. Like the I hate the word chuggy, so I'm not going to use it because I hate that word.
I think everybody hates that word. I don't think anybody likes that word. I think that was just a thing.
It was like the girl that made that up on TikTok was like, "I'm really sorry, guys. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't think it was. I think
she made it up as like a joke.
Yeah, it was
and
like
then
a joke.
millennials were like, "This is what Gen Z is saying about us."
yes."
which they
And then it
keep
got into
doing.
like a generational war, and
Yeah,
I was
I'm
like,
so
I
sick
hate
of that
this.
shit.
Yeah, but Bachelor and Bachelorette are like that's like my vice, like my guilty
Yeah.
pleasure.
Yeah,
It just sparks
and
joy.
I gave you a shout out.
You did. My only shout out
on this show before because you
swear
did.
that.
I was a Bachelor hater.
You were.
And then you finally got me to watch it, and I was like, "This is amazing."
Yeah.
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 And everybody I work with watches it.
Yeah,
That's all I talk
so
about.
it allowed you to relate to what they're talking about.
Totally.
Are they watching Bachelor in Paradise?
I don't. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Serena's on there. You liked Serena.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was she the teacher?
No, that's Michelle. She's
Michelle.
the next
She's the
Bachelorette.
next. Yes, that's why. Okay.
Yeah, you heard that.
See, I know what's going on.
The girls at work told me.
Yeah, the girls. Shout out the girls. None of them listen to this, but they're the best.
Oh. No, Serena was the one that told Matt like, I don't see something with you. Remember that Matt was like super upset.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah,
Serena
yeah.
keeps it real. Like I
Yeah.
appreciate that about Serena.
I do remember that. I think
She's
that
on
was the
Bachelor in
first episode I
Paradise.
watched was when she bailed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And I was like, you're getting into like, this is like, wow. Like you're
Yeah.
really coming into like a good episode. You're like, are all of them like this? I'm like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, but I think, a lot of people hate on The Bachelor and Bachelorette because I mean,
It's easy to hate on.
it's
from the
easy to
outside.
hate on. Yeah. So whatever, hate on it. I'm just going to keep watching it.
And I think, and for me, it was really the reason I hated it was that, it was like, oh, it's just a guy dating a bunch of girls, but girls hate when I do that. And
Right.
It's like,
Oh, yeah,
well,
that like high level thinking of like these
Yeah.
women signed up to do that.
Right.
But then they forget.
But then you watch it and you're like, this makes so much sense. Like it actually like makes so much because it's like, because everybody is just like on board and open about it, which is what is different.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And like, then the girls are all communicating with each other and, like nobody's being deceived,
Right. Sometimes.
Oh, okay.
I mean, sometimes people are like, you're not here for the right reasons. Like
Yeah.
all that stuff, all the stupid stuff that like brings a drama into and like
The one thing that pissed me off when I was watching that, like early on, was like some girl showed up from like a previous season or some shit and
Yes.
tried to like just like
Yeah,
it's
that
like,
happens
"Go
all the
Get
time."
the fuck out of here.
the winner from this season who Katie chose was Blake, and he was from a previous
But he was a
season.
contestant.
He came late
What the fuck? Why did they do that?
because it's good TV.
I hate it. That's the one thing I don't like. It's just like this guy just came out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
All these other guys have been doing the work.
And I think they think the same as that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, they're with you on that one.
Yeah.
But
I liked that. When that one girl showed up last season,
they're like, no.
all the other girls were like, this is not gonna happen. And
Yeah.
I was like, all right, girls, you tell them,
But then it becomes like a bullying thing, and oh my god, it's
Yeah.
drama. It's whatever. It's like shitty TV that I talk about with my friends and live tweet about, and gives me
It's an
something to
escape.
do on my- Yeah,
And it's amazing.
yeah.
And I'm all about it.
Things don't have to be serious all the time.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I will not.
And things don't have to be super good all the time. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like trash reality TV is fine.
I tweeted about it the other day
I love it.
as a setup for myself.
And I think that is like a piece I finally come to. And I think that's what people need to get on board with is like, not everything has to be like this amazing production.
like an Emmy nominated.
Yeah. Like shit can
makes
just
you
be like
cry.
let shit be low budget.
Yeah.
And just appreciate it for what it is.
Oh, that shit is low budget.
And it's phenomenal.
My brother was talking about like they somehow got swindled into like a camera deal. Like the shooting on that show is so bad. Like if you watch, like it's
Yeah.
like you sway so much. My brother's like, I don't know who locked them into that terrible camera
Yeah.
deal, but if you look at like the quality of their production compared to like any other new dating show's production, it's like
Yeah.
worlds apart.
Netflix is crushing the dating show thing. I feel like every time I go on, I don't go on Netflix a lot, but every time I open it up, there's a new dating show.
See, you think I would be like into all those?
Yeah.
but
All
I'm
the girls at
not.
work are into it.
You know what
All of
one
them.
I was really into during quarantine was where they couldn't see each other for a while?
Love is Blind?
Yes, that was
I've never even watched it, and I know
Dude.
that. Yeah.
exactly.
Because I just hear the girls at work talk about it.
And I think that was a Netflix original, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they crushed that. Like
Yeah.
that was so
and then
addicting.
there's Too Hot to Handle, which is where they can't touch each other. What? Yeah. That's real. And then there's Love Island.
Oh no, I watched Love Island.
That's a Netflix show, right?
No.
Oh, it's not? Okay, my bad.
They stream it on Hulu. And it's actually Love Island UK was the OG.
Yeah.
That's the best one. It has me
Okay.
talking in a British accent
Yeah.
for everything. I got stupid high
My
the other
mom
night.
watches one. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean
No,
to.
it's okay.
Go ahead. I want to hear this story.
And I was watching it. This is going to get annoying. I'm sorry to everyone. And the girl kept being like, thank you.
You
every
laughed
time,
every time.
time I had like almost tears streaming down my eyes because I couldn't get over the way they were talking. But then there's Love Island Australia.
Okay.
And now there's a Love Island
US.
US.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom, what I was going to say is my mom watches, I think it's called Married at First Sight.
Yeah.
Which
That
is on
stuff weirds me out.
Lifetime or something. And
Yeah.
she only watches the Australia one. She won't watch the US one. She only likes the Australia one.
Interesting.
It's so, I didn't know
I
my
can
mom
relate
was
to
even into
that.
that kind of shit, but usually my mom was like strictly like Dateline.
Yeah.
Like my mom just watches Dateline.
Yeah.
Like that's her shit. And then just like HGTV shows.
Sure.
But somehow she got pulled into Married at First Sight Australia, and she's all the time. She's like, "Can you figure out how to I can't get the app to. Could you just find the Married?" And then I'll find it. She's like, "No, it's the American one. We don't want that shit. We want Australia." And I'm
Maybe it's
"All
like the accents or something.
right." Yeah, I don't know. She loves it. And then I'll put on an episode. She's like, "Oh yeah, this is the one. Her." And then she like goes into about it. It's so fucking funny, dude.
But so they're quite literally married at first sight?
I have no idea. I assume so.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Or the title's a bust.
Yeah. I don't know. And those shows are fun to watch because it makes me feel better about my life and my situation.
Sure. Like Hoarders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never watched that, but
you watched True Life on MTV?
I never did, but I would see the commercials for it.
Oh my God, that show was incredible.
You know what shows on MTV I always liked were I liked Made.
What?
That was the one where like they would get like a teenager and
they want to be like a captain of the cheerleading team.
Or I want to be a comedian or a rock star.
Like a coach would come in.
Yeah, and then someone would come in and like, they do their wardrobe and redo their hair and makeup and like show them how to behave like that and like teach them. Yeah. And it was just, and then remember Next with the bus?
Yes.
Oh man, that show was a fucking joke.
And then was that the dating one too?
Yeah.
And then they'd get off and it would do like 3 really weird facts about them.
Yep.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
The facts are always like the weirdest thing. And I was watching in 6th grade being like, what is this?
The early 2000s, man, what a beautiful time for pop culture.
Dude,
and then Parental Control.
Yes.
That might be my favorite one ever because of the fact
That's where the parents date, right?
No. It's where the parents intervene with their child's relationship because they don't like their significant other. So they get set up with somebody else while the parents and the child's significant other watch the date happen. And they are so mean to each other.
Yes.
Like it'll be like the dad sitting next to like the daughter's boyfriend.
Yeah.
And they're just like ripping at each other. And it's
so
goddamn
good.
funny.
Yeah, like how can you not like that?
Obviously scripted. Like most of it was all scripted, but it was just so funny. And then there was one that I always bring up and nobody ever remembers it for some reason, but High School Stories, Scandals, Pranks, Controversies. That was the tagline.
Thank you.
Where they would have kids come on and basically tell the story of like their high school pranks.
I do remember that.
Yeah, it was so good.
And it made you want to do it.
There was a Buffalo-based one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for St. Mary's of Lancaster, I believe, where they had a bunch of crickets in the school.
Yes.
Yeah, but crickets in the lockers. Yeah.
People did that at my high school.
Oh wow.
Seniors always did a prank in my high school.
I remember one day, like when I was a senior, like kids were like talking about it, but like nothing really happened. And then one day I got to school and there was just like some silly string on like a bush, and I was like, ugh.
My brother and his friends parked a car in front of the main entrance and left it there.
Sick.
So no one could get in.
Phenomenal.
And like covered it with like seniors 2008. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. And that was our senior prank. My brother got like a day of ISS and that was it. My school like didn't lay down the hammer very hard because like there's like few of us. Yeah.
I almost got fucking like everything removed from me. Like I had like awards and shit.
Did you do something bad?
Yeah. Well, nah.
What'd you do?
I filmed a rap music video at a party.
Who was rapping?
I was.
Oh.
Yeah.
Were you saying bad things?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And it was
I was saying really bad things.
Okay. About people?
No.
Okay.
Just a rap song. I'm just saying
typical rap things.
Yes.
Right.
I'm talking about smoking blunts.
Of course.
And
drinking
fucking
alcohol.
bitches. Yeah, swear to God, this is not made up. Anybody from my high school can back this story up.
Do we still have the evidence?
Yeah, but nobody's ever gonna see it again.
We'll see. So that was found by
the school. So apparently, because the song was fucking good, if I'm being honest, some girl saw it whose mom worked at the school. And the mom saw her watching it. I still don't know who. Saw her watching it and was like, all those kids go to this high school, like the high school that I work at. And then I did it under the thing was nobody was wearing school attire in it.
Right.
It was under a fake name. And there was like no ties at all to the school. However, it was all kids who went to the school, and there's like, dude, it's all teenagers drinking.
That's funny.
Smoking weed.
That's funny.
Like, yeah. Yeah.
So you almost got like scholarships and stuff.
So
removed,
yeah,
wouldn't be able to walk
it's a
at
long story, but
graduation.
essentially that was like I had won this like competition that like I have like a plaque up on the wall. They were gonna take that down. I won like I had a few scholarships, won a few awards. They were gonna take it all away. I was gonna walk in graduation, but I fortunately had a team of English teachers
that backed you.
That backed me like hard. So
there was a Supreme Court case about something very similar to this.
I think
the girl didn't make the cheerleading team and like Snapchatted about it.
Yeah.
Which is like a whole nother dimension.
I do
these
remember
days
this.
And
yeah.
like that.
I remember hearing about this. Yeah.
And she, like something happened where she was going to get like expelled or not allowed on the team, something going on. And it went up to the Supreme Court and eventually was decided that she can do it at freedom of speech. Like she was allowed to Snapchat about being pissed or whatever she wanted to Snapchat about when she wasn't on school grounds, you know? So.
Right. So that's basically like this one teacher that actually I never had was like going to bat for me, basically being like, he's expressing his creativity, he's being creative. He's using like video editing skills that he learns here at school. Mm-hmm. He's hanging out with his friends. They all consented to being in the video. Nobody's being bullied. Nobody's getting hurt. Like, yes, there's swearing and, sexual content and underage drinking and smoking, but it's like, but he's using a fake name.
Right.
Like
he's not representing the school in any way.
And if he's to blame, then everybody in the video is to blame.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and eventually nothing happened for it, but I never found out who it was that, like, whoever this parent was who saw it.
Oh, you never found out?
No, but apparently they were like fuming mad and like wanted me like out.
Weird.
Yeah. And I was like a good kid.
Yeah, I know. That's what like you weren't known to be like a bad boy.
I just partied. Yeah.
Yeah. I just partied.
Right. And the whole thing was like, I was just making a rap song. Like it was a dumb rap song of just me trying to like, none of it was real.
Right.
You know what I mean? The things I was saying were not things that actually represented me as a person at all. I was just trying to be cool because I was 18 and a libertarian.
Oh, libertarians.
I had to bring it back to that.
Yeah. They scare me.
They sure do. And that's the whole thing is like when I talk to people who are libertarians, like, dog, I used to be you. I understand.
Right.
I understand where you're at. I had a conversation with a kid not too long ago. We were passing a bong back and forth in my friend's garage. And it was my first time meeting the kid. And he was younger than me. He was probably like 21, 22.
Young.
And he was, younger than me.
Yeah.
But we just got into the conversation. It was just about like, big picture, zoomed out, how we should be as a society and stuff. And he immediately off the bat was like, I'm a libertarian. And so I didn't say anything about what I was. I just like asked him a bunch of questions and then like started going on to my theories about stuff and like whatever. And like at the end of it, he was in like total agreeance of like everything that I was saying. And he was like, dude, you make a lot of good points about shit. And I was like, yep. And I was like, and I'm a socialist. And I was like, but if I started with that, you wouldn't have listened to a goddamn word I said because you ride so hard for being a libertarian that if I come to you and say I'm a socialist, you're not even going to hear it out.
What did he say after that?
He was like, you're right. Yeah. And he was like, and I was like, identity politics are bullshit. Never start your conversation with I'm a libertarian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get in political discussions a lot at work because I'm definitely the minority in my thinking. And that's also just because of like who I work with. Like I work with a majority of white males, and I'm not saying like white males aren't, more liberal. But yeah, I get in a lot of debates at work because I just think I like go against the grain of what the majority of people in my industry, because I work in an engineering firm for people that don't know. So like I start things and like with India Waltman, I'm like, why shouldn't she be mayor? And everyone's like, well, she'll be bad for development. And I'm like, Bernie Sanders. Like, look at Burlington, Vermont. And they're like,
much smaller city, but yeah, still.
Yeah. I mean, you can.
I'm just saying.
I totally, yeah.
I agree with you.
But for comparison's sake, like, he
made
was
that
successful.
City thrive.
Yeah, thrive.
Yeah.
Not just be like a vital city, but like take off,
grow,
and work with developers like hand in hand. So like if that's your only argument is that she's not going to work well with developers, like get out of here. Like that's such a lame argument.
Yeah, I know, because I grew up in South Buffalo, so I know a bunch of people from South Buffalo, and they're the fucking worst. Not all of them, but for the most part.
I do not know a lot of people from South Buffalo.
Yeah,
so.
I lived there for a while, so a lot of them became cops, and most of them that became cops are kids who I've seen do some of the dumbest shit ever when we were growing up, and they're just these kids that are just like got to a point where it's like the party's over, now what? Become a cop, and that seems to be pretty common for a lot of people I know in South Buffalo. Anyway, when the India Walton thing she won the primary, these kids were up in arms.
For what
She's going to
reason?
defund the police.
Right.
Which they don't even know what that means.
No.
And, the things they were saying were just all false. And now, and they were part of the Write in the Byron campaign.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you said that.
That picture that went sort of locally viral, I guess. There was it was a bunch of white kids canvassing for Byron Brown.
I didn't see
You
it.
didn't see it? Oh, I thought you would have. It was getting bounced around a lot on Twitter, but I knew half the kids in the picture grew up with all of them.
What were they doing?
They were just
Going door to door?
Yeah, I don't know. They were just
In Buffalo?
Yeah, canvassing for the write-in campaign.
Do they live in Buffalo?
They're all South Buffalo kids. Yeah.
Okay, so they live in the city.
Yeah.
Technically. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. No. They 100% have their right to do what.
No.
they're
Yeah,
doing.
for sure.
Yeah. I'm not calling out anything, but what I do know is that, again, I grew up with a lot of these kids, and they're all, dumb. So, I would love to have discussions with all of them, but I just hear their takes, and it's not even worth it,
Yeah, and I think people are just scared of something different.
Of course they are, because that's what
change is scary.
That's South Buffalo in a nutshell.
And they're probably comfortable with how Buffalo is right now.
Yep.
So anything
Right,
that's going to disturb that is why?
A threat. Yeah.
It's a threat. They feel threatened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's so that is my whole thing. I actually had a tweet in my drafts that was basically Byron Brown does nothing for 4 terms. Does fucking nothing for the people of Buffalo for 4 terms. And then India Walton comes in and is I want to do something for the people. And most of Buffalo were let's give her a shot. And then all of South Buffalo was what the fuck? No. We want the guy who does nothing. They literally want the guy who does nothing.
Yeah. We're still one of the poorest cities. There's still a drastic income inequality, and, things aren't getting better on the east side. And I hate to just keep talking about the east side and how terrible their conditions are, but that's where the issue lies, right?
Yeah.
And there's been,
And that's her focus. That's a lot of her focus.
She
knows
the east side better than anyone. And there has been development on the east side. I don't want to say there hasn't. There's been work done there. Northland Workforce Training Center. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's a really good development. I'll send you a link about it.
Okay.
And that was also funded by the Buffalo Billion and state funding sources.
Was that the organization that there's that block on Fillmore where they have it's all black owned businesses? They basically put up this whole thing and provided funding to help boost the economy over there. I don't remember what's over there.
I think it's literally on Northland.
Okay.
It might be near. It might be. I might be totally wrong. I got to tour it.
I read into it a
awesome
while
facility,
ago.
and they keep growing, and they have black restaurant owners that have
are
restaurants
all
open
in this
there.
row of things, right?
It's a huge development. I wouldn't call it a row. I wouldn't say it's Elmwood. It's
Right.
it's a training center. It's
Okay.
huge. They do big machinery work there.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, they're
Gotcha.
placing. They're training people to work jobs, and then they work jobs there, kind of
Sick.
thing. Yeah, it's awesome. So that's something that's really great that's happened on the east side. Them working with the medical campus, the Fruit Belt working alongside the medical campus to make sure that any development that's going on there is equitable to the community surrounding it. So things like that have been happening, but that's also driven by community members, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, Buffalo definitely has come back in the last 20 years. I don't think anyone can argue that.
1,000%.
But what is the source of its comeback, right? How did it revitalize? That's the trigger word everyone uses, the Renaissance. Where did the Renaissance come from? Was it partially maybe the city of Buffalo government? Sure, maybe parts of it. Those things have to get passed to create connections in neighborhoods and small businesses and give out loans and things like that. But I think a majority of the work that's been done has been done by nonprofits or regional agencies, state agencies, things like that. So I think a lot of the city of Buffalo residents saw that. And it's actually really interesting. The data from the voting shows that more affluent neighborhoods did vote for India Walton. So people can't also use the argument that it's just people on the east side or just people on the west side. That's not true.
Yeah.
It was spread across the city. So clearly she's doing something that people want to see.
And the progressive movement in Buffalo is real.
Right.
It's
totally.
huge.
Totally.
The DSA have from what I've been seeing, they've been crushing it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's across all age groups and incomes too.
Yeah.
So like that says a lot there too, right? It's not like there's like wealthy people in Buffalo that are like, we can't have India Walton.
Sure.
She's going to ruin everything for us. They're like, no, like she's woke. She gets it. She sees what's going on. Like, so I think that's,
and I think her story sells it a lot too.
Oh, for sure. She's an actual human. Like she
Right.
has a humane background
Yeah.
and she's worked with people her whole life,
And she's just like a
for people
person,
her whole life.
yes.
Yeah. She's like she's a
and
mom.
it's
Like
totally
she's
grassroots. And that's the whole thing. It's like everything about it's like, how do you not get behind that, dude? Like as just like a citizen of your community, how are you going to pick the dude who is literally only supported by like the fucking
development community.
development companies and the police union?
You know what? And I don't like bashing the development community because without the development community,
Sure.
there would be no development.
Absolutely.
And I work with a lot of them, but I think, it's fine to be nervous about what may come, but don't counter out, you know, like you can work with her to make things happen because all she wants to see is improvements for people.
Exactly.
Right? And you're developing for people.
Right.
Like if you build it, they will come. Like if that's what you're doing, like
Yeah.
you need to make sure your development is equitable.
Yeah.
Right. So like that's all she wants, dude. And it's like, I don't know.
Right. And dude, and that's, I am always just going to support anybody who is trying to help workers and is trying to help tenants, who's trying to
Huge,
help,
yeah.
yes, who's trying to help the greater community of people.
Right.
Why should that person
majority.
not be in charge? Yes. Workers and tenants, not owners and landlords.
Yeah, she actually, it's really funny. She tweeted the other day, like, we should have a landlord database. And I was like,
Yeah.
I wanted to create a rate my landlord so badly.
I wanted to do that in college, and actually the idea got stolen from me.
It already exists.
So when I was in Fredonia, my roommate and I had come up
Yeah.
with this idea of doing like an app for like college towns, basically. It would have been for college students. That was
Yeah.
basically just like the same idea as Rate My Professor.
Yeah.
It was like a Rate My Landlord thing, and people could leave reviews. And so like, if you're a student in Fredonia and you're looking for an apartment, you can go on here. Like, so you find an open apartment, see who the landlord is. You can go on this
See what
app
people said about them.
and see, and
You know.
how they upkeep their property. Because when you do that, it holds them accountable,
Yeah.
and then it makes living places improve because they have to compete to actually like have a good space that people want to live in.
Like they shouldn't just get, like just because you own property.
You absolutely have the right to know who you're living, like whose property you're living on. And the quality of person that is, you know what I mean?
For
and
sure.
like,
That's a
and
big
so anyway,
deal.
so that was our idea. And then, a couple of fraternity brothers who I talked to about it
I
ended up
remember this.
doing the same exact.
Was this that competition thing?
Yes.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, and submitting it and winning the business competition.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
no.
basically
That was your idea first?
yeah, but it was my idea in the same way that Facebook was the Winklevoss's idea.
Right,
you know?
right.
Like, if it was your idea, why didn't you do it? And that's basically what it came down to. But so, I mean, it's, that is what happened. We came up with the idea and we were going to start working and then this, like, out of nowhere, they were just like, well, we're taking this and we're doing it. So I guess I can't really hate them because they executed it and we didn't, but,
Right.
But that did happen.
Were you still in the business competition?
Yeah. For something else though.
What was it?
For our promotions company that
Oh, yeah.
Pat Walker, shout out Pat Walker, and John Greenan and myself started called Last Call Entertainment, which was our entertainment promotion company where we were booking shows in Fredonia and trying to create a music scene, which we did.
Did you place with that?
No,
Lame.
but they really did. It was a winner take all.
Oh,
but
what did they get from it?
You get a space in the incubator, and you get like a bunch of money.
Wow.
Towards your business, yeah. So a couple of guys that I know did a record label one year and won. So that was, and then they were like, but the people who were judging it, like pulled us aside after and was like, you guys should do this again next year. Like it's really good what you're doing. And like, they were interested in it and stuff. And it continued to grow for a little bit. After Pat and I graduated and left, like it continued to be a thing. So it was cool. And it still is a thing, actually.
Oh.
There are still kids running it.
So it was a success.
Yeah, but some of them don't know where they came from and need to stop running their mouths.
Uh-oh.
So that's it. That's all I'll say about
Fredonia drama?
Still,
dude? Nah. Fredtown. Gotta love it.
I don't even know anybody that fucking goes there anymore, and I still am dealing with shit.
I don't know anyone that really goes there anymore either. I don't think.
But I will still give a shout out to the one dude, Dan Doyle, who's running Last Call. Is a good dude.
Dan.
And he's still keeping it alive.
Shout out Dan.
Yeah, still booking it. BJ's, which is good.
I just saw BJ's got rid of their
they got rid of mason jars.
jars because people were throwing them or something, right?
I don't think that was true.
Oh, I thought they replied that. Oh, it was joking.
It was just from what I know. So Pat Walker also used to work at BJ's, so he had the inside scoop, and it was just a money thing. So now instead of doing a mason jar filled with draft beer, now it's like Busch Light cans for like $1 or something, or $2. And I'm like, I would have much rather had that, actually.
I don't think we realize how lucky we were to have the bar scene we did at Fredonia.
I wanted to write like a drama series based on the Fredonia bar scene because I thought it would have been so funny.
Incredible. Yeah.
Or a comedy.
Yeah. A comedy would have been.
The bar owners in Fredonia. Yeah. And like in a college town, basically. Like,
right.
Because working at Maria's.
With all college employees, though.
Yeah, exactly. Like working at Maria's, the bar, I heard so much drama, especially because all the guys who worked at the Water Street bars would come into Maria's all the time. So like I got the inside scoop of like how shit went down and like the owners of the bars and what kind of they were tight with the owner of Maria's. So like I got the inside scoop about everything, and I thought it was so funny of like how like I don't want to say corrupt, but almost like Sopranos-y it kind of was. Of like,
I believe that 100%. I mean, there are some characters and for sure.
Right. But it was like, and they were all like in cahoots with each other, and they're in cahoots with the cops.
Oh yeah.
And like, I just thought that was so interesting that I was like, this would be a great cahoots.
Such a great word.
It is. But this would be a great like comedy drama series on like HBO or something that's like
or reality TV.
Yeah.
Honestly,
but like a plot based around a college town and the bar owners and the cops and the college kids working in the bars. And you can do a lot with it. I think it's a good premise, but I'm not going to do anything about that, and someone's going to hear it, and they're going to hear it, or they're going to copy my idea, and then they're going to execute on it, and then I'm going to be mad about it again.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I got to stop sharing my ideas.
Yeah, no, don't stop, because then life would be boring. If
You're
you
right.
Never shared your ideas.
You're totally right.
It's so boring. I was just saying like the bar scene was so good, and I don't know if you've seen like the tweet or like people, how people say one thing on like TikTok or like Twitter and then like 5 other people say it a different way. You know how like people, they don't copy the tweet, but they like say it very similarly.
Yeah.
Like how many times have you seen a meme that's like, hey mom, what's my, what time was I born? And like the mom replies like, don't talk to her anymore.
Yeah.
I've seen that like 40 times.
You know what one I've seen, within the last few days, that's like it's like the guy and the girl texting each other and says, I'm just in a bad state right now, and the guy replies, damn. And just I've seen one with a bunch of like Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, Ohio, like I've just seen them with all 50 states, and it's like, all right,
we get it.
It's the same fucking joke, you're just making it a different state,
right? But there's been one about we love college so much because it's like one of the few times we're in like a walkable community. And I think I told you about like walkability. That's like a planning term because everything's in walking distance of each other, right?
Yeah.
Like you can.
That really was.
I mean, Fredonia
is. I mean, everything's within a mile of each other.
Right. Like, I guess maybe not walking to like get groceries and stuff, but you can get to class, you can get to the bars, you can get to the commons.
I mean, you still had access to like Crosby's and Fred Mart.
Yeah, that's
like,
food.
There were walkable.
Yeah, no. And especially with like other larger schools, it gets even more walkable. They create a tiny community in itself.
Yale
right?
has an Apple store on their campus.
Who?
Yale has an Apple store on their campus.
Jesus Christ.
I went there one time.
Why?
I had to go to like a sales training thing in Connecticut when I was working at Best Buy.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Did I tell you the story?
You telling me that. Yeah.
And Yale was like 15 minutes away, so I just like took a drive over there one night just to check it out.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
And just walked around the campus. Yeah, they have an Apple store on the campus. Dude, Yale straight up looks like Hogwarts.
Yeah, I know.
It's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
It was sick.
It is sick. All the Ivy Leagues are sick.
And then I bought a Yale shirt that I wear all the time because I think it's funny.
It is funny.
Because it's like I didn't go there, but it's funny.
But it's still fun to wear.
Right.
I mean, I wear like band tees of bands I don't listen to.
That's okay.
I know.
Don't let anybody tell you
that's such a
not.
controversial thing now. You know
Also, where you can wear your band T-shirt to the show that you're going to see.
I saw a tweet about that too.
Yeah, that's so dumb.
I've never heard that.
It literally came from like a movie or something in like the 90s that was like, or a show that someone on the show was like, yeah, you can't wear a band tee to the band you're going to see. That's lame. And just because of that, it just was like always a standard. But fucking do whatever you want. Although the argument I did here, I do kind of agree with, which is that if you're trying to like, and this is something that I do enjoy, is like meet people at the show that like obviously you have a common interest. Wear a shirt of a band that's like that band.
So then straight conversation with you, like, oh, word, I like them too. Yeah, and then you talk about music.
Yep.
Yeah. Shows. Hopefully I get to go to the 6 shows I bought tickets for.
Yeah, same.
It's coming up. What's my next one? Well, I'm going to Chelsea Cutler in New York City.
Sick. You love Chelsea Cutler. You got me into Chelsea Cutler.
Yeah, she has new music out. You should check it out.
She's phenomenal. I will.
Okay, cool. Her and Quinn 92.
Right. Yeah. Which I didn't
together.
know that's how you pronounce that.
You thought it was XEII.
I thought it was like Quinn Chi. That's literally how I was reading it in my head.
For you because like you're a smart dude. You know Roman numerals.
Yeah, I just like first instinct reading it. Quinn Chi was how I went. That's his like Quinn 92. It's when he was born. I looked it up.
Oh wow.
There's a Quinn. I will say it again. I've called him Quinn Chi. Fuck it. I have a Quinn Chi song in my pool party playlist. Did I send you the pool party playlist?
No.
Oh, I gotta send you the pool party playlist. It's phenomenal. You would love it.
Do you have Chelsea on there?
I don't know if Chelsea's a pool party.
She has some bops.
Does she?
She's
All right, I'll have
boppy.
to check, but hold on. Let me see. Let me pull up my.
Is it
So I have 2 summer playlists right now that I'm rocking with. I got pool party. And then I got. Where's the other one? Rain delay.
Ah.
You like that?
Yeah, I like how they go together.
Yeah, it was originally called Summer Chillin', and I was like, I need to be cooler.
Yeah, and cooler.
Yeah, so Rain Delay, which is like just like chiller vibes, but summer songs. You know
Right.
what I mean? But my pool party playlist is second song, Stacy.
Stacy's a phenomenal
Banger,
song,
dog.
dude.
Banger.
That
Let me
whole
see if I
album.
got Chelsea Cutler in here.
You should.
I do.
Nice.
I have 2 songs. I have Are You Listening?
Nice.
And I have Stay Next to Me, Quinn 92 and
Yes.
Chelsea Cutler
Yeah, you
are
like
both
that
in my
one.
pool party playlist. Yeah.
So I'm psyched. It's at Radio City Music Hall.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never been, but obviously like a legendary venue.
Yeah. I've been in New York so many times.
Yeah.
And I've never been there. And so when I saw they were going there, I texted my sister. I'm like, you're going to this concert. Because my sister and brother live there. I was like, you're going to this concert with me. I'll buy your ticket. Like, we're going.
Sick.
Take off work. It's like a Friday night. So whatever. I'll make like a weekend out of it. So that's, I think, my next one. That's like a month away, right?
Dope.
So supposed to go to Goo Goo Dolls. That was canceled.
Yeah,
it's supposed to
bummer.
be this weekend.
Yeah.
Sad.
I am going to The Story So Far.
Where's that?
Rochester.
Oh yeah, you said
an
that on your
anthology.
last one.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. I've never been to
Anthology is a cool venue.
Where in Rochester? Is it right downtown?
Yeah, it's what's Park Ave? Is that the?
Yeah.
That's like the like Elmwood Village equivalent of Rochester.
Yeah, I would say it's not as good as Elmwood Village, but yeah, it's similar vibes.
If it's in Rochester, it's not gonna be as good as.
I always say Rochester.
It's their version of it. It's like the art.
And I can say that I'm from
artsy,
Rochester,
more upscale part of Rochester, the
Yes,
city of Rochester.
yeah.
I think that's where it is. If I remember, because I remember being there the one time I went there I was with some people from Rochester, and they were like, "Yeah, this is," and that's how they described it. They're like, "This is like our like Elmwood."
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Monroe Ave is like Allentown.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
When's the show?
Next Sunday, the 29th, I think it is.
Okay.
So I mean, hopefully it happens. I think masks are going to be required, which is what I was saying in the last podcast. Was like, it doesn't make any sense because it's like moshing and crowd surfing are going to be going on.
You gonna get a garbage plate?
I usually do.
Okay.
Anytime I go to Rochester for a show, I don't remember I go to the spot.
Nick Tahoe's.
Is there another one?
That's like the OG garbage place.
Maybe there's another one.
There's like a lot of like Dogtown. You think?
I think I've been to Dogtown.
Dogtown's good.
There's one in Brockport.
Oh, Jimmy Z's.
Jimmy
dude.
Z's.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's the one I was thinking of. That's where I usually go,
Yeah.
and that's because
Your friend went to Brockport.
my friend Lexi, shout out Lexi, is from Brockport.
Oh, she's from
She
Brockport.
born and raised in Brockport.
What's her last
yeah.
name?
Rangout.
I don't know.
Shout out Lexi. She is the front woman of a band called Spaced.
That's sick.
They're a hardcore band.
Nice.
They're fucking awesome.
Well, then she would know.
Oh, I'm seeing them this Saturday.
Byron Burgeon. Oh, so that's your next show.
Yeah, but that's a local show. I mean,
Right.
like an actual, like,
Going to a show.
Going to a concert that there's like security at. Like, this is going to be a DIY show at an
Oh.
outdoor space somewhere. But I'm super excited for that. Shout out Space. That EP is amazing. I keep rocking it. And shout out Lexi for being badass.
Wow. So Lexi and I like know each other's hometowns. Like I feel like a lot of people. She definitely knows where Byron Burgeon is.
Okay.
I'm like next door to Brockport.
Gotcha.
Like Jimmy Z's was my place to get.
Yeah,
a plate.
so that's where
Princess Plate.
when we would go to Rochester for shows, I usually am going with my friend Dan. Shout out Dan. Dan and Lexi are together.
Got it.
So it would usually be me, Dan, and Lexi going to a show, and then Lexi would take us to Jimmy Z's.
Nice.
That place fucking rules.
Yeah, it's incredible, and they're like. Their food was like actually good, and they
Yeah.
were open until like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Which is like such a deadly combo. Like if
That's
I went
phenomenal.
there, I would have been like at least 50
It
pounds
surprises me that like a garbage plate place wouldn't do well here.
It would. I
Why
would
hasn't
love to
anybody
open
done
one.
it? Like, there's no way.
I don't know. I always say
Somebody has had to
love-
try.
I think what's that place? Louis Texas Hots.
Yeah.
Do they do plates?
I don't. If they do, I'm not familiar.
have
But
meat
Louis
sauce,
is
right?
Louis is like a hot dog place.
Yeah, but
Louis
like
is like you go there when you're fucking hammered and you
Right.
you scarf down like 20 hot dogs because they're like little and you
Like
just
Joey
and the
Chestnut.
slime sauce you got on there. Yeah.
what? I've never been there, so I have
Slime
no
sauce,
idea
dog.
what it
Oh
is.
come on. Slime sauce is a Buffalo thing. It's
Well, I'm not a Buffalo
it's
girl.
like it's just like a concoction of like ketchup, mustard, relish, all into like a sauce, like
That
a
is
meat sauce.
literally like what a So you just
Yeah.
slap that on mac salad and home fries, and,
and
it's
that's
a garbage plate.
Yeah, so that's what slime sauce is. here.
Got it.
Yeah.
slime sauce.
Yeah, I know. When I was growing up, I literally wouldn't eat it just because it was called that.
See,
and
I
because
would have loved it
looks
because
like
Nickelodeon
puke. It's
slime.
like greenish brown, but it's fucking delicious.
All right,
Yeah.
well, if
yeah,
you-
it's like ketchup, mustard, onions, relish, and like some other shit.
All the
probably
best
barbecue
shit.
sauce, maybe.
Garbage plates are lit.
Garbage plates are phenomenal.
If you don't like them,
I stand, dude.
up.
I love Rochester. Like I really do. I
Yeah,
don't know
I
if people
do.
really shit on Rochester. Like if there's not like a Buffalo Rochester beef. I don't think.
There's not. No.
But I think anytime I've gone to Rochester, I've had a good time. Their highway system is weird. It like surrounds the city.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of. It's not like directly in it. They used to have what's called.
It takes a long time to get anywhere
Um,
because of the highway system. At least in my experience of where like.
Maybe. I
Things-
guess I just never thought of it that way because I just grew up there, so
Yeah.
I'm just like used to it. Like that's how it is, kind
Right.
of thing. I've never really, thought about that. They did have a really messed up highway system that was called the Can of Worms.
Okay.
So when you looked from it above, it looked like a bunch of like worms
Yeah.
because it was just everything was crisscrossing. I don't know who let that fucking happen, but they eventually
you.
not me. I wouldn't pass that. They eventually like really deconstructed that and tried to get the transportation more streamlined. So, but Rochester is so cool. I was just in Rochester I was visiting my mom last Friday.
So the
I'm
anthology,
there next weekend too. I have a wedding next
Oh,
weekend.
sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that anthology venue is cool. I saw the Wonder Years there a few years ago. It was really good.
Never been.
I think that was I think it might have been the only time I was there. It was the Wonder Years, Real Friends, Knuckle Puck, and Moose Blood. It's pop punk
Never heard
showcase.
of any of those.
For real?
I'm still such
You
a
never heard of
newbie.
the Wonder Years?
I don't think so. Wait, no.
Came out swinging from a South Philly basement. Wow.
Great line though.
Dude, that song is phenomenal.
No.
I actually took a screenshot
I feel
today
like I'm
because
still relatively a newbie in the music scene. Like I think
Yeah.
the pandemic. Well, okay, I went to a lot of shows in
All right.
2019.
I'm gonna have to give you some homework. You have to
You
listen.
already give me so.
I know. There's an album called Suburbia. I've given you all and now I'm nothing. By the Wonder Years,
All right.
2011.
On
It is literally like the Wonder Years were like the pioneers of the new age pop punk that started in like 2010.
lit.
Yeah, so pop punk kind of died off at the end of the 2000s, and then like 2010-ish, the Wonder Years, Man Overboard, Story So Far,
The
Transit.
story so far.
Yeah, so like those bands kind of recreated, kind of came out with like a new age of pop punk that was it was more underground, but the Wonder Years were, and now the Wonder Years are probably like the Wonder Years in the story so far are the two biggest pop punk bands.
I feel bad. I don't know that.
It's okay. They're very good though.
Okay, I'll listen to them.
Yeah.
I love. Well, like what I was just saying. 2019, I went to a shit ton of concerts because I finally had like money to do it, and also I was like, I'm gonna listen to the music that I like and like go to concerts that I like to go to. And I feel like I didn't really get to do that in like my younger years.
Yeah.
And then pandemic, I just like got so into music, like just started listening to new music and music that I used to listen to when I was younger that I stopped listening to like in college because like I was listening to fucking like Fetty Wap, who I love.
Did you see?
I saw you shared it, yeah, and I was like, yeah. Dude,
someone replied and was like, "Why? Like,
why not?"
And I was like, "Cause this is a song like Trap Queen, like for at least for me, like defined my like upperclassman years at Fredonia.
Yes,
like
Fetty
Trap
Wap
Queen was the song,
anthem. Yeah.
And Fetty Wap just kind of fell off, and nobody talks about that song anymore. And the reason I posted is because 2 weekends ago maybe I went to my cousin's wedding. And I don't know why. No, I requested it from the DJ. I have no idea why I thought of it, but I randomly, I was drinking White Claws.
Sure.
I was smoking a lot of weed,
Of course.
and I just was feeling it, and it just popped into my head. And I must have heard something in another song that reminded me of it. And I just walked up and I was like, "Yo, you got Trap Queen by Fetty Wap?" And the DJ was like, "Oh yeah."
No way.
And
Were
put it
people
on,
liking
and everybody
it?
went
Huge.
off. Yeah, and people were like, "I forgot about this song." I'm like, "This song is not old."
Yeah, that song rips.
But everybody seemed to forget about it, so that's why I posted on my story, because I was like, everybody needs a reminder.
I don't forget about
that this
Fetty
song
Wap
exists.
because I got really into like Spotify too, like sophomore year.
Yeah, that's when
Fredonia.
it popped off when we were in college,
and like making playlists for like parties.
Yeah.
And like then when I was like in houses, like lived in the house, it was like my house. I would always be like, no, I'm on aux. Like I'm playing the music. Like frat boys,
that
step
was
aside.
it was a battle in my apartment because all of us loved
See,
music.
all the
so
girls
much.
were like, Emma, get it, like play it. And I had like 4 Fetty Wap songs on like the main playlist
Sick.
I'd play whenever we had like a party.
Yeah.
And so I never forget about Fetty Wap.
And dude, and if you ever went and anywhere and bought something and your receipt or something came out to 1738, it was a huge deal. That happened to me once, and it was like
That's
I never
huge
forgot
for
it.
you. Yeah, that's
yeah. I
great
think
memory.
I think I have the receipt in like my memory box of stuff. Yeah, just because it had 1738 was the total.
Wow, he made such an impact on you.
Yeah,
That's
dude,
so
I love
beautiful.
that fucking song.
He was
I
supposed to
covered
perform-
that song at a Halloween show in Fredonia in the basement of 37 Maple.
People probably loved it.
Electric guitar and vocals was it was fun.
That's incredible.
What were you gonna say?
I don't remember.
Fuck it.
We were talking about playlists and shows.
My roommates in college, we battled a lot with the aux because we all loved music, but we all loved different kinds of music.
Right.
So I was like, I loved like emo and pop punk and stuff. So I literally like everybody had their like designated time. So I would have emo Tuesdays. Did I ever tell you about this?
No.
Tuesday nights in my apartment senior year, called it emo Tuesdays. And I would just have friends from the radio station come over, and I, had a pretty decent vinyl collection at this point. And it was basically all emo records. And so we would pick an album, we'd listen to it start to finish, drink a few beers, smoke some weed, and then once the album was done, we go across the street, because I lived across the street, BJ's.
Yes.
Go to BJ's, it was Taco Tuesday.
Yep.
Get tacos, get the tall boys of Blue Light. And it was just a tradition. We just did emo Tuesday. So my day, I got Tuesdays. But like my roommate Rory, shout out Rory, loved. Now Rory's taste in music is impeccable. It's phenomenal. It's different. He loves like funk.
Same.
He loves like Anderson .Paak. You know Anderson .Paak? You have to know the dude who's with Bruno Mars right now. They have the
the
drummer.
Yeah.
He loves him. Like loves like anybody who's like soul funk. Like he loves like 70s, 80s shit.
Yeah.
So like, but it's like all fire. So like anytime he was on aux, it was amazing.
Right.
Doug, shout out Doug, but sorry Doug. Doug loved EDM.
Oh,
Doug only listened to EDM.
I like EDM sometimes.
Doug, we would let Doug put on EDM when he was playing Rocket League. That was his thing. He would like play video games in the living room, and he wanted to play EDM while he did. So we would let him do it every once in a while. And then my brother Brendan, who also lived with us, loves hip hop, and that's just like his whole thing.
Same.
So it was a very
I like all of those
diverse,
things. I love all music.
Yeah.
So
EDM, I just I don't hate EDM. I don't hate any genre of music as a whole. because there are some songs I find in every genre that I'm like, I kind of fuck with this.
Yeah.
But just like very aggressive EDM after a long period of time is just like, please put on anything else.
No. I don't.
It sounds like Transformers fucking. I can't do it. You know.
Yeah, no. I just love all music, but so I really got into music in 2020 and started like actually opening my brain up and like finding new music. And that's why whenever I'm like, have you heard of this? You're like, yeah, Emma. Yeah. Like, I've heard that song.
But there's a lot that you send me that I don't, and I love.
No, that's good. Yeah. So.
I love when people send me music. That's my favorite shit.
Yeah, so that's why I do it. But I'm like, every time I do it, you're like,
yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'll get them on the next one, and then I don't.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like I've heard of them, but like never listened to them.
Yeah.
You know, which happens a lot. It's like, I don't know. There's so many things I feel like we were going to go back to. I forgot.
We talked about TikTok.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been really like fired up about the write-in campaign for Byron Brown. It just makes me so fucking mad. It's just like, if you guys fucking cared so much, why didn't you do anything? You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of a primary if you're all just going to try to over fucking write it anyway? Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just, again, it's just because I know these kids and they're just these fucking, and it's not even like I hate these kids. You know what I mean? Like, I like these kids. I grew up with these kids. But it's just like, you guys don't fucking know anything about politics. And I've been in it, like, I've been paying attention to it for so fucking long and, like, educating myself on it. And now you hear, like, just these, like, buzzwords. And now all of a sudden you have an opinion and now you're part of a campaign. Like, fuck you for that. Always.
They're scared.
Yeah.
That's all it is. That's what drives the majority of people's decisions.
Yeah. And I've talked to you about this, is that I feel like a hypocrite because I don't live in the city, right? I have no say in this race anyway.
And I tell you, that's just so wrong.
Right. Which
you're allowed to care.
Thank you. And I want to live in the city. I want to move there.
Yeah.
I give a shit about how it's going to be being run. You know, when I plan on moving there in the next few years.
You spend your money there.
I spend my money there a lot.
Your friends live there.
All my friends live there.
So why wouldn't you care about somewhere that people you care about live?
You're right.
So you're allowed. People.
I mean, nobody's called me out on that, but it's just, you know.
Well, that would be weird if they did.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess people care about what other people care about. Sure, if you want.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't think it's wrong to care about a community that you don't directly live in, but you're right there. Yeah. You're right there. Would we consider West Seneca like a first ring suburb?
What does first ring mean?
Like,
it's directly south of the city.
Right.
It's the next thing. South Buffalo and West Seneca are touching.
Yeah. So you are a first ring suburb.
Yeah.
So you can literally get into the city within like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And you
literally, yeah.
And its economy impacts where you live, and you impact its economy. So that's it. Like,
shout out, Emma.
Yeah, you're allowed to care about communities that you don't live in. I care about like 20 communities I don't live in because I work in them. But you actually start to care about them because, and we circle back to the overall point, you just want everyone to live a normal, healthy life. Yeah. You care about people in general. Yeah. It's not just the city of Buffalo. It's the people in the city of Buffalo.
Right. Yeah. And my thing is like Indy Walton like is so focused on like trying to help the east side without gentrifying it.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Let her do it.
Yeah.
Give her a shot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so that's like my biggest thing. You know what I mean? Help those who need it.
100%.
What's the point of having power if you're not going to help those that don't have it?
I totally agree. You're not wrong.
Thanks, dog.
You're welcome.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah, the city of Buffalo. I mean, I came in from, I'm like still, I don't consider myself an outsider, but I didn't grow up here, right? So I definitely have a different perspective. And like I said before, like, I mean, the city of Buffalo definitely needs improvements, but like compared to other cities, it's doing good.
Yeah.
It's on the right track.
Yeah, it is.
And that's,
and everybody knows that.
And that's because the people care about it.
Right.
Because if people didn't care about it, it would go to shit.
I love this city. That's why I'm still here.
Yeah.
I've considered
I know you considered
so many
moving.
times. I always do. Every so often, just an idea pops in my head.
Yeah, so have I.
But I love it here.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, should I move to New York?
I know no matter what. Right. And I think New York, I think Nashville, I think Philly, I think all these other
I don't
Austin.
think Nashville's your vibe. Have you been to Nashville?
Yeah.
And you liked it?
My experience in Nashville was a little jaded.
Well, they do have a good music scene.
Right.
A lot of talented, creative people.
Yeah. I can't live in Tennessee. I think that's
No.
really what it is. Nashville, I like. Tennessee is not.
No, dude.
A red state is not really going to be,
No, I would never.
But see, I would consider moving to Austin because it's like so close. Like the divide between the. Like it was almost blue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like almost a blue.
Well, did you
state.
hear about the governor of Texas?
Yes, he does have COVID. Perfect transition to what I wanted to get into. Something I talked about today with some of my friends at work about.
It's not funny that he's sick, by the way. I hope he gets better, but it is. Okay. Well, I hope. I mean, I would never wish. He's a terrible human.
He's responsible.
Yes, he's terrible human, and he tried to repeal mask mandates in schools.
Right. He is responsible for a spreading pandemic throughout his own state.
For sure.
Fuck him.
Yeah, he's a.
I don't give a
terrible
shit what
person.
happens to
Yeah,
him.
for sure.
Anyway.
I'm just trying to not be.
No, I feel you.
An asshole all the time.
And that's the, surface level. It's like, all right, well, I don't hope he dies. But when you think about how destructive his decisions are, again, you're in a position of power and you're not only not helping those who don't have it, you're hurting those that don't have it.
And so,
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Get COVID. Get hospitalized.
Get fucked.
Eat my asshole. Listen.
For sure.
People who aren't vaccinated. And you've seen my Twitter rants because I was a person who's like, all right, I'm not going to, because people get so heated about it, they're so strong-willed on not getting it that I was like, fuck it. Don't get it then. What the fuck do I care? And now I do care because
it's affecting you.
Because it's affecting me. Things are getting out of control. If I'm not going to be able to go on tour again, I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
Yeah, you can't live the life you were promised you would be able to live if you got the vaccine.
Precisely. So we need to stop validating stupid people's stupid opinions.
Yeah, I agree.
We need to stop saying, oh, it's just their opinion when they're wrong.
Right.
We need to call out stupid people, and we need to this is my campaign slogan right here, is make stupid people feel stupid again. We have to. We can't keep giving them this confidence that that just because they're insufferable, we have to just let them have their opinion when it's starting to affect everybody else. You cannot say my body, my choice when it is affecting everybody else, you dumb fuck.
Yeah, no, that's not the same at all. And I hate that argument because...
Yeah, and I know I'm preaching to the choir because everybody who listens to this is
right. I was going to say, Aiden, you say this every episode and everyone...
I just hope... Here's why I do it, is because I hope I can put it into terms that other people can hear it, and then they can continue to have these conversations with people in their lives.
Like, it's not like you're swaying someone listening to this.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm trying to help them sway other people because I've done it successfully. I have done it. There are two people who I work with who were not going to get the vaccine. I convinced two of them to get it.
That's amazing.
It's true. One of them just got it this week. They got their first shot.
That's awesome.
And I was not mean about it at all. I just was like, tried to explain it to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the biggest, and we've talked about this before, is the biggest argument everybody has is the fertility thing. Right.
It's not true.
Right.
I
It's not
actually
true.
posted articles.
Of course. And the thing is
debunking that.
Right. And the thing is that and that's the one I understand the most out of all of them, is because especially in young women when they're getting into their 30s, and this is who I see it with the most, at least like in my environment.
Yeah, I've seen it too.
People who are getting into their 30s that, what is it when you're 35?
It's a geriatric pregnancy after you're 30.
30.
Dude. 30 years old. So women, you know what? I empathize with that. That's scary.
Exactly. And that's why I say that's the most understandable argument anybody is making about the vaccine, is that if you're 30 or almost 30 or past 30, you don't want to get it because you already are at risk to not be able to get pregnant.
Yeah.
And so you're like, won't even take the chance. Okay. But this vaccine is not going to touch your reproductive system. And if there's anything,
your child will have antibodies.
What?
Your child will have antibodies. Probably.
Facts. My thing is, if there's anything between the vaccine and contracting COVID that's going to be a bigger risk to you not having children,
right,
it's going to be the disease of COVID.
Right.
not
like
the
chance
vaccine.
at being sick.
Right.
Or
And I don't think COVID, would even do that. But if it's one of the two that are going to be a greater risk to you in your logic of I just don't even want to take the chance.
Yeah.
Get the fucking vaccine.
Yeah.
Because that is going to give you a better chance than COVID probably would with pregnancy, right? My next argument. We got like 10 years left of like healthy, habitable Earth.
You're talking about like everything going to shit with our environment.
The climate report, right?
Yeah.
I got into this last night, dude, and I got super manic while I was sitting at dinner with my family.
Oh no.
And then I had to like go to my room and calm myself down, and I was like, oh,
really?
fuck. Yeah, because I do that sometimes. Like if I start zooming out too much.
Like panic a little bit?
Well, it's just like I know. Like at the end of the day, no matter what we're arguing about, like the climate change is happening, and we're past the point of no return.
Oh yeah.
And all we can try to do now is to slow it down. But in order to do that, we need to get a bunch of fucking people on board, and we can't even get a bunch of people to get a vaccine to not get a virus. So why the fuck would they do anything to not make the world end? You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's two different populations you're talking about.
Facts.
Yeah, right? So like we always say, like with the environmental issues that are going on and like global warming, that's the corporations. Those are a couple people making decisions at the very tippy top.
True. You're right.
Vaccine. I mean, now people at the top are being like, you got to be vaccinated to work here.
Right.
Shout out New York State for making nurses have to be fully vaccinated by end of September. About time.
Yeah.
But I think that's two different populations, but they're both screwing us over equally.
Right.
At the same time. It's like neither one of them wants to see good things happen.
I think this is a conversation that people need to start having, and a reality that people need to start considering when they look at their life.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Of it's a tough conversation because it's like, obviously, like people should have kids if they want to have kids. You know what I mean? But it's like
100%.
In reality, like what world are you bringing a child into right now?
I always
you know
say,
what I mean? Like,
I'm not doing
if you're
that.
having a baby right now, like how long are they gonna
What's their
here?
life going to be like in 50 years, right? What world are you bringing them into? Also, bringing them into this world right now is already scary. So.
Right. Yeah. Climate change aside.
Right. I mean, we're pretty privileged. I can't say
absolutely.
Like, my life sucks. My life's totally fine.
Absolutely. But I'm saying there's going to get to a point where the amount of, well, I guess I can't say that. I was going to say where the amount of wealth doesn't matter because of climate change. When it does, because there's going to be people who are going to fucking go to Mars.
Yeah.
And it's only going to be the rich.
They're getting out of here.
The ultra width. Yeah. They're the ultra rich. Ultra width. Ultra rich. I can't fucking say that goddamn word.
Ultra rich.
Thanks, Emma.
It sounds like
I'm
a
getting all
commercial.
fucking flustered over
It's
here.
ultra rich.
The ultra wealthy.
You know what really made me mad?
That's why I was mixing up, because I was trying to say two different. I was saying ultra rich and ultra wealthy.
You know what made me mad?
Tell me about it.
Is so my brother is newly immunocompromised.
Bummer.
And such a bummer, dude. And he was in Rochester for the past like week and a half, like stuff going on at the hospital, whatever. My mom works at the hospital. And he got put on these new meds on Wednesday, and the doctor was like, I would really love to keep you here for observation, but I don't have any beds because it's all fucking COVID patients. And the majority of those COVID patients are unvaccinated.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's what makes me mad. Like
Yeah.
well, I mean, lots of things make me mad, but like that really set me off the edge last week when my brother was telling me that. I'm like,
yeah,
you, someone who's sick, who got the vaccine,
right,
who's just trying to get taken care of
yeah,
for something not related to COVID, can't even fit into a hospital because there's selfish people out there that didn't get the vaccine that are now using hospital beds that are begging nurses to give them the vaccine when they're already sick.
Yeah.
That's what makes me mad.
Totally.
Like that for me, I like was like, all right, here I go tweeting again. Cause like, I'm just like, dude, as soon as, well, like obviously everyone's family members are at risk because of unvaccinated people. But like when your family member is like sick,
right,
and they can't get the care they need, then I start getting like really like,
yeah.
But so that last week I was like, shit. And then I saw an infographic today about all the hospitals that are overwhelmed. And that pisses me off even more because everyone just loved healthcare workers at the beginning of the pandemic. And now that they're struggling again, you can literally do one thing to help them.
Right.
But you won't do it.
Yep.
So
yeah,
it's upsetting. who knows what's going to happen in the
and
future.
that's where the other part of my brain goes with like the climate change and like things getting worse and like eventually we're facing the end of human existence. Is I was like, maybe we need it, we might as well. And that's where my brain goes.
Don't let it go
I'm
there.
just like,
Don't let it go there.
We live in such a selfish society.
We do, but there's such good people. There's such good people in society.
There needs to be more.
For sure. And then I'm like,
And
shit, does that mean I should have kids?
Right. Yo, for real. Because you know who the ones who are reproducing are?
Terrible people.
Terrible people.
Terrible people.
Dumb people.
Yeah. For the most part.
Idiocracy.
For sure.
We're on the way to it.
Yeah. Like I always tell my mom, like, I'm not having kids, dude. I've been saying that since I was like 7 years old.
Yeah,
like
same.
I saw a baby crying and I'm like, absolutely not.
Yeah. I also don't have the greatest genetics in the world. So
Right. So you're like a little nervous. You're like, why would I do that to someone?
yeah.
I
And
feel
yeah,
that.
they just all signs point to no.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love kids.
Same.
I would love to have kids of my own, but
Like maybe I'll adopt,
yeah.
foster.
Right.
There's other
Yeah,
opportunities.
can I adopt like a 17-year-old?
Yeah. You
Just
know
to
whatever
hang
you
out
want.
with. Yeah.
But I always said,
Go
like,
to the orphanage. Does any of these kids play guitar?
does anyone want to be a prodigy in here?
Yeah.
No. So I was like, I've always said like, I don't want to bring kids in this world. And my mom's like, if you don't, you like, there won't be another you out there. And I'm like, Diane, like she was saying,
Yeah,
like
but-
you as like someone that's like a go-getter, wants to better the
Right,
community,
right.
not like a duplicate of me. She could.
My mom's
care
just
less.
like, when am I getting grandkids? And I'm just like, calm down.
Eventually, but
She's not gonna.
at all?
I don't know. She's got a few of them right now.
Yeah.
She's fine. That's enough.
There will be more.
Eh.
You don't think?
Maybe Brendan will probably
Yeah,
have kids if
yeah.
anybody. Liam and Marissa will have kids.
There you go.
They're
Okay,
nurses.
so-
We need more of them.
Yep. Shout out nurses.
Yeah.
Shout out my
Vaccinated
mom. Shout out my
nurses.
dad. Shout out my sister.
Wow.
Nurses. Yeah, they're dope.
Yeah, I got a lot of medical family too.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that's super frustrating about all of this is like when people start going on this shit, it's like, dog, not to me, bro. Like I got like 3 cousins that are fucking doctors.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, but what can we do? Twitter rants.
Drink beer and watch The Bachelor.
No beer. I
No
don't drink
beer?
You didn't know that about me?
No, I guess I did. We were making margs the one night.
We
I
did
do
make
fucking love
margs.
tequila.
Those
so
were
I'll drink tequila
so
and watch
good.
The Bachelor.
Yeah, tequila, Bachelor. Any hard liquor is good with me. A glass of wine.
Do love a good claw.
I love a seltzer.
I went to an engagement party over the weekend and was drinking the Labatt seltzers. Dog, those are fire.
Did you get to try the Josh Allen one?
I did. So I went to Consumers as
That was at Tops.
as a good Buffalonian. Consumers has everything. Consumers literally has everything. There's no exclusives everywhere.
Okay. There's no Consumers right near me in the city, so I don't.
There is not one in the city, I don't think.
No. Shame.
Yeah, it is weird because they're such like a Buffalo based
Yeah.
thing, but they're all in the burbs.
In the burbs.
But so I went to Consumers, and in the cooler there was like the variety pack, and then there was the Josh Allen ones, and I was like, oh, fucking Josh Allen ones.
Of course.
But they got cherry in them, and I don't like.
The way you just said that, but they got cherry. Yeah, you hate cherry.
I don't like cherry.
Yeah, which is so weird. I love cherry.
It's like the only flavor I do, and I'm sure they're fine. Like I'm sure I would. I have some in the fridge. Maybe I'll have one. And try because they were like it was like raspberry lime cherry or something like that.
That sounds
It's like
awesome.
Yeah, I just don't like cherry. So like I was scared to buy a 12-pack because I'm like, what if I don't like them? You know. So I went safe, and just went with the variety pack. But someone left some here, so maybe I'll try
The
one,
Labatt
but-
ones are
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
I've been trying like different like craft ones. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, like specialty ones.
Have you had the Saranac green tea
No.
spiked seltzers?
No.
Dude.
That sounds insane.
They're so good. Someone brought them here for a party not too long ago, and I tried one, and I was like, yo, these are
delicious.
super good. Yeah, Saranac green tea spiked seltzers.
Damn, where am I going to find those? Wags?
Probably Wegmans. Yeah.
Wags.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's your seltzer recommendation, everybody.
And also, if you want normal seltzer.
Oh, yeah, we didn't even get into regular seltzers. We'll talk about that to wrap this up.
Okay.
You brought me a ginger lime mule polar seltzer. It's very good. It's very refreshing.
So
The
good.
taste is very subtle, which I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very
Okay.
Well,
I wouldn't describe it as subtle.
Okay, my taste and smell are still fucked up from COVID.
Yeah, you said that. Long COVID.
Yeah, so maybe that's why. But
Probably.
I do. You and I both love seltzer waters, but you love seltzer waters more than anybody I know loves seltzer waters.
Yeah.
You have an Excel spreadsheet, correct?
I do.
Yeah, and you have all your ratings.
It's in my Twitter bio, Phil.
And you have your Instagram story.
Highlights.
That's what they're called, highlights. I don't have any of those, but you have your Instagram highlights of your seltzer water ratings.
Yeah.
So
I started it like bored. I just started 9 to 5, and I was bringing like a seltzer to work every day.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start rating these because these
I
are
love
not all created equal at all.
Absolutely. And
So
I got a lot of friends who love seltzer that listen to this podcast that will want to
tell them to check out my spreadsheets in my Twitter bio though.
Okay.
But so yeah, obviously not all are created equal. I've had some terrible seltzers, Trader Joe's, and their seltzers suck, and some really bomb ones. And I've tried I think like 120 different ones.
That's insane.
Yeah, I know. It's insane. So anytime I saw a new one at the grocery store, I would buy it. And then if like seasonal ones, I would like specifically go and buy those, even if I didn't need it. Like I've spent stupid money on seltzer water, but I could be spending money on worse things. So like if that's it,
crack cocaine.
and then that's the biggest one probably. Yeah. Not anymore. That was a joke.
I know.
Yeah. So seltzers, that's my thing.
I love it.
I love it too. And nachos, but I don't do the nacho thing anymore.
I'm pretty loyal to Polar.
Yeah.
And then
Wags.
Yeah. Wegmans Polar is phenomenal. Or Wegmans seltzer is phenomenal.
Spindrift.
Right. Yeah. You're big on
Aha is good.
Waterloo. Is that
Waterloo one? Is incredible.
Yeah.
Those are all at Target.
I've gone to Target maybe like 4 times.
That's crazy. I go every week.
I know. And so this is
every woman does.
Target, right. Target is the same to me as like the reality TV. Like everybody else seems to talk about it so much. And I'm like, I didn't even know it was open, like obviously I'm being
dramatic.
Yeah. It's what I do. If you've made it to the end of this podcast, me being dramatic is not
2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked a lot at the beginning before we started, so it probably won't be that long. But I knew this was going to be a longer one because we always.
Everyone.
No, it's great. It was full of good content. I got on my soapbox there for a little bit, so
it's okay.
Back down it happens. If it gets back to anybody I was shitting on, I'm sure I'll face the consequences of it. I'm feeling more confident doing that though because of like how confident I am in my views on things now. That's great. And it's because it's just I know the work I've put in to have them and understand them. That like when people come out of the woodworks to dispute it, it's like, who the fuck are you?
It was pretty deep into this episode too, so they probably didn't last that long. No one's here anymore. It's just us.
I hate when I don't last that long. Hey-o.
Oh God. Target.
Yeah. I went to Target around Christmas time, and I remember being like, this is the first time I've been to a Target in like years. And everybody with me was like, what the fuck?
That was like me with Best Buy.
Yeah, I worked there.
Dude,
so I was there every
never
day.
go there. I walked in, the guy's like, what are you looking for? I was like, a TV. And he was like, all right, you're going to need this. And hands me like the big cart to like push the TV out on. And I was like, why? He's like, to move the TV. Like, it was just such an awkward interaction because I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
And then when I was checking out,
I should have went with you.
You really should have. It was such a shit show.
Yeah.
And then because they didn't have the TV you said I should get, so then I got this more expensive one. Right. And
also, everybody listening, if you ever need a TV,
ask Aiden.
And you give a shit. There's some people who don't.
Ask me.
If you don't give a shit, you just go buy whatever. But if you give a shit, hit me up. I'll find you a good. That is one thing that's like everybody in my family comes to me before they buy a TV, and it's just because I know so much about them, and I like TVs.
Well, the reason I came to you is because the first time you ever saw my apartment,
beautiful apartment.
You go, it's so nice, and I'm like, thank you. You go, except
I didn't say that.
What's your TV? Yes, you did.
I said it's great. I wouldn't change a thing, but I, maybe upgrade the TV because it was a really old TV. You had like all this whole like mid-century modern thing going on. There was a beautiful theme going on, but then you had this like old ass TV.
TVs don't fit into any decor.
Yeah, but the TV you got now is nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
Nice TV.
You know what TV I want is those frame TVs. Those are sick. They just look better in a house. You don't think? They're not good?
If you're really into how your TV looks when it's off, yeah.
Or just in general.
Yeah.
How the TV looks in general. I think TVs just make
the thing is like
ugly.
it's like it's for people who don't want a nice TV but want something that looks nice on the wall.
Right.
Get a painting.
Yeah, but the TV's still there. It's ugly.
Yeah, but you're probably going to put it above a fireplace or anything. Anyway, it's going to be terrible. Put a painting up there.
Okay.
No, the frame TVs are cool. I'm not.
Thanks for the interior design advice.
We didn't even get into that.
Oh, God, we don't have to.
We don't have to, yeah.
Another time.
Yeah, I don't know how you get into interior design on a podcast. Anyway.
Start sketching.
Emma, thank you so much for coming on. You've been very insightful.
Thanks, Aiden.
I feel like you talked me off the ledge a lot here. There are a lot of things. Yeah, and you always provide good knowledge when I need it, which I appreciate about you. And you always bring good seltzer when I need it, which I also appreciate about you.
Anytime.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks
I'll see you
for having
soon.
me.